At Farmers Insurance, we've seen almost everything, so we know how to cover almost anything, even a rock and wreck.
Yeah!
He rocked and rolled right into it, but we covered it. At Farmers, we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
When tragedy strikes, you don't want to be in a position where you're second-guessing your lawyer's ability or the resolve to get you fairly compensated. When you hire Goddard & Young, you know you're hiring a law firm that has nationally ranked settlements and verdicts. We have over 2 decades of experience holding 18-wheeler companies accountable for their negligent action. Don't make the mistake of hiring anybody else. Hire the best. Hire Goddard & Young.
Extra, extra! Read all about tonight's game in Thursday's Gilmer Mirror, complete with pictures, coaches' comments, and a look at next week's opponent. The Gilmer Mirror has been serving the citizens of Upshur County since 1877. You know, reading the news online is fine, but there is nothing like physically picking up your hometown paper, turning the pages, and catching up on everything going on in our area. If you're not subscribing to the Gilmer Mirror, you're probably missing out. It's one of my favorite publications, and I know you'll love it too. The Gilmer Mirror, www.gilmermirror.com.
Because of investments in our surrounding infrastructure, eTex offers advanced improvements in internet connections, service experience, and quality of life for our customers. The driving force for eTex has been to create a state-of-the-art company using both the latest technology and local expert technicians, people you know. And best of all, a certified support team that delivers quality support within hours, not days. eTex, local support from the team you trust.
Growing up as a child in East Texas, I was always taught that I had to outwork my opponent. That same principle has carried over into our law firm. And for over 20 years, we've outworked each and every insurance company, lawyer, or corporation we've gone against. If you look at our results, they prove it. Put us to work for you, and we promise to never stray from the same East Texas work ethic that you were raised on.
120 years ago, First National Bank of Gilmer opened its doors to meet the needs of its customers. Through the years, we added other names to our banking family. Now, we're proudly unified under a single name, First National Bank of East Texas, because together, we're better for you, your families, your businesses, and our communities. We're the same great bank with the same great people and services you can depend on. First National Bank of East Texas. Together, we're better.
Winningham Chevrolet is proud to support the Gilmer Buckeyes. Don't miss out on the 15% savings on the 2020 Blazer, Equinox, and Trax. And remember, our service department is now open Saturday 8 to 12. Stop by and see Jay, Roger, and Lindsay at Winningham Chevrolet. The Med Shop Pharmacy in Gilmer's features a drive-through pharmacy for all your prescription and over-the-counter drug needs. Place refills using our free phone app RX2Go or use our convenient auto refill line 24/7 at 903-680-2626. Stop by and see our unique gift items for all occasions or visit us on the web at gilmermedshop.com. And don't forget, the Med Shop is your flu shot and vaccine headquarters for the fall and winter season. The Med Shop Pharmacy, your friendly hometown pharmacy.
Two-time Hall of Fame inductees, Brent Godarzi and Marty Young. Back-to-back #1 trucking firm in the nation. Back-to-back best attorney and best law firm in East Texas.
Crowley Funeral Home has been serving families in Gilmer since 1883. Funeral director and Gilmer High School graduate Troy Murray leads the professional staff at Crowley Funeral Home and is committed to providing dignified, respectful, and compassionate assistance to every family in their time of need. Crowley Funeral Home feels strongly about maintaining high standards of excellent service while still keeping prices affordable. At Crowley Funeral Home, we treat your family as our own.
Gilmer National Bank is your hometown community bank, serving people in East Texas for over a century. We are your neighbors, friends, and partners in making this a great place to live. Our employees make us a special place to do business. We are there for you when you need us. Come by and see us and find out what makes people say, "That's my bank." Gilmer National Bank, an equal opportunity lender and member FDIC.
Hey, East Texas, Matt Darby here, and I serve as one of the pastors at New Beginnings Baptist Church in Gilmer and in Longview. Let me ask you a question. Are you looking for hope in your life right now? We believe that the answer is Jesus Christ, and every Sunday we fix our eyes on Him and we worship Jesus together. I want to invite you to one of our worship services at 8, 9:30, and 11 in Gilmer and in Longview. We'll see you there.
And once again, folks, welcome to Jeff Traylor Stadium. Joined tonight here by the voice of the Buckeyes, Mr. Jeff Rash. And Jeff, the first third of the season is over. The Buckeyes come out one of the toughest schedules in the state of Texas. They come out 4-1 after this, only losing to the Gilmer Buckeyes to the Carthage Bulldogs, who put a hurting last week on the Pleasant Grove Hawks as well. And at this point, it's 0-0 and we start fresh. Spring Hill comes in tonight. You look at the next 4 weeks. The Buckeyes pretty smiling, pretty big right now. Looking forward to the next 4 weeks and looking forward to Pleasant Grove coming in here at week 10.
Yeah, like you said, Todd, we anticipated that to be a better game than it really was between Pleasant Grove and Carthage, but you just don't look at that and get too excited because it's Pleasant Grove. I mean, they're just a great team, and the Buckeyes have, we got to get through our opponents that we got in front of us right now. I mean, that's a big deal, and take Spring Hill tonight. A lot of people are taking this game for granted. Spring Hill's 2-3, and they don't have near the studs they've had in the past, and on and on. Remember, the last 4 years, Spring Hill has played Gilmer pretty tight, and the last 2 years, I got nervous.
Yeah.
I mean, and another factor that the Buckeyes are going to try to fix here tonight is the fact that they've only played one half of football, really, most of the games this year. And what I mean by that is, other than maybe against Henderson, a good second quarter, they have been slow to start and slow in the first and second quarter, and then coming back and just making up ground in the second half or dominating the game. So they're trying to get out of that mode right now. They're trying to find a way to, hey, how can we play all 4 quarters? Because when we get to Pleasant Grove for the district championship, hopefully, as we'll be playing for, we don't want to be too assumptuous, but we hope, we got to play all 4 quarters.
That's all Coach Metzel had to say on Wednesday. Was I asked Coach Metzel at the coaches' luncheon specifically, hey, what do you want to see on Friday night? And he said simply, 48 minutes. I just want to see us play like we can play for 48 minutes.
Not 24.
Yeah, not 24 and not the first drive. And he pointed out against Carthage, the first drive was great. It's just that Carthage took 6.5 minutes off the clock to go score. We came right back to take the lead. But at the end of the day, if you're going to compete at that championship level, you've got to bring your best every single play for 48 minutes. And that's really what this Buckeye team is learning to do. But all that said, we have played a tremendously difficult schedule for the first 5 weeks. Yeah. And I don't think that there's anything that we're going to see from here on in. Obviously, you saw the number 1 team in the state. You saw what they did to the number 2. It's like Carthage, Gilmer, Pleasant Grove, and kind of everybody else.
Yeah.
And that's now pretty much evident. Now, the Buckeyes' number 1 nemesis is going to be the Buckeyes.
Yeah, I agree.
It's going to be them looking in the mirror and saying, can we consistently play the best we can play?
And improve week to week.
And if they do?
And improve week to week.
By the time we get to December 16th, Carthage will have their hands full. But we're still not there. We're still on that journey. The journey starts tonight 0-0. And to your point, Jeff, the last 4 years, Spring Hill has played us off our feet. this week we want to see the Buckeyes come out, start fast, start quick, have a great first quarter, put their foot on the accelerator, and just drive all the way to the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and let me tell you something, Todd. Here's something kind of cool that's fixing to happen. We're going to post our colors down at midfield, but as they're coming out on the field, we want to point out that tonight with us we have literally a living legend, a hero. We have Ed Snow, a local gentleman that was literally that was in the 101st Airborne and flew in to over enemy lines into Normandy, and
on D-Day.
On D-Day, and
fought at the Battle of Bastogne. Served in Korea.
16 years old, left school
to go and fight. And that's him right there.
Yeah,
we see the back of his head
with his military.
Mr. Ed Snow, and he was recognized as.
Yeah, he's the real deal.
He's the real deal.
In a world full of flakes, in a world full of false heroes, we tend as a society to put up athletes and things. And we love sports, but we tend to put a little more emphasis on those, actors and actresses in sports and those kind of things. And tonight with us, we're reminded by looking down there at him. That's the real deal.
The greatest generation.
That's the greatest generation, and there is one of the last of them right there in front of us.
It is amazing, and what an honor to have him with us. And hey, I'm just glad he's sitting on our side.
Oh yeah.
we told Mr. Albritton, please, Mr. Snow, if you see this tomorrow, you're welcome to come support the Buckeyes anytime that you get ready. And we just want to just say thank you from a grateful nation.
Yeah.
For what he's done.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's almost crazy to look down there and
95 years old.
That's amazing.
That is
it's
cool.
amazing, and he's in great shape, by the way.
Yeah,
and to have him here tonight with us is just more than cool.
What an honor.
And young people, if you're watching this broadcast tonight or the replay later in the week, if you want to know what a hero looks like,
right there,
he's sitting down in the orange seats.
Ed Snow. What a great opportunity for us to have him in our presence as we go and recognize our flag and the nation that he served and the nation that we're all privileged to live in. And just a special shout out to Mr. Snow, and thank you for your service and a lifetime of service.
Absolutely.
And what an honor it is for us to host you here tonight.
Now the Junior ROTC will post our colors and our national anthem.
If you would join me in a moment of silence prior to our invocation and then the national anthem. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for this beautiful evening, for a chance to come together as a community to enjoy fellowship and the beauty that you have surrounded us with, Father. We pray for safety, for good sportsmanship, and that you would watch over all who are involved in our competition this evening. We pray these things in the name of Jesus. Amen. The national anthem.
It never fails to give me chills.
Chill bumps.
It's good stuff, and especially with Ed Snow here.
Exactly. Like a true American hero that is with us, and man, I tell you what, if it'd be a life goal for this generation to just know about half of what he's forgotten.
Oh, isn't that the truth? Wouldn't you love to get inside his head?
My goodness, what
Amazing.
a life well lived, and so appreciative of that whole generation. And there's not a lot of those guys left that are 95 years old, Jeff, that are World War II veterans, but certainly none that are jumping out of airplanes behind enemy lines in Normandy with the Foxes. That's something. That's so cool. We are just
neat deal. Well, it's about time to play football, Todd. We've got captains making their way to midfield, and in the spirit of social distancing, we only have 2 captains, one from each side tonight.
Aaron Duhart,
number 52 for the Buckeyes.
Aaron Collier for Spring Hill, as we will flip the coin here. Good crowd on hand tonight, even with the social distancing and limited tickets. It's starting to feel a little bit normal, Jeff, which going into district play is a great thing. Looks like that Spring Hill has won the toss and elected to defer, and so the Buckeyes are going to start with the ball, and that is just about where they wanted to be, Jeff. They're going to be heading north, and Brandon Tennyson, just look for him to have a big game tonight. I had the chance to spend a lot of time this week with the team. They are razor sharp focused, had a great week of practice, and I am looking forward to seeing really the kind of game Devion Smith has tonight. I look for him to have a big game tonight, and BT to really kind of show the work that he's put in the last 2 weeks. Of course, how spoiled are you when you've got Coach Nyes and Stump Godfrey and Alan Metzel? You got 3 of the best quarterback coaches on the planet down there in the field house, and I laugh all the time between Coach Nyes and Stump. Brandon's still the 3rd best quarterback down there in the field house. Because,
isn't that funny?
It is hilarious.
Yeah. Several top 10 records already just in the first 4 or 5 games.
I mean, it is.
And still's not going to catch the guy that's coaching him because he played 3 years instead of 2.
That's right.
So I mean, when you think about that, it's kind of like, whoa. So we're in good shape as far as quarterback coaches go. I'm going to tell you right now.
We are as spoiled as it gets, and looking forward to seeing this group play tonight here, Jeff, coming off of a bye week. I think they realize that it's 0-0. I think they're taking Spring Hill very seriously, which for Spring Hill I think is going to be a problem tonight. But let's see how things unfold tonight as Spring Hill gets ready to kick off to the south end zone.
They might open up with an onside kick. They tried that in the JV game last night. They feel like they got nothing to lose, and they do. They drop it right over the head, and that is to them an onside kick. So they try to get it just over the line and in the gap and go get the ball. So they're giving Gilmer a great field position, 1st and 10 from their own 34-yard line. I think we score in 3 plays.
I'm right there with you. It may not take that long,
because I think they're going to air it out right from the start. Could be wrong.
Yeah, they're going
I think they'll suck them up long. That's going to be my prediction. And I promise I haven't seen the game plan tonight. Just having a little fun with it. Here's the snap, dropping back, looking to pass, and I'm wrong. They're airing it out from the start. And it's just overthrown, intended for Rowan Fluellen. That was a little post route, and that was just beyond his fingertips.
Yeah, that one, I think he'd like to have that one back. Rowe was the guy that made that play on the kickoff from his corner position, came in and went and chased that one down. But the Buckeyes stretching the defense for sure right here from the start, Jeff. You called it.
All right, let's see what they're doing. We got Smith in the backfield. Let's see if they're going to hand it to him. They do. Up the gut. And a good defensive stop there by the front line of Spring Hill. They're going to hold him to 2 yards, and it's 3rd and 8 for the Buckeyes. Look for him to go to the air. It's probably going to be a little slant route.
Yeah, lots of weapons, especially watch for number 14 out here, Dylan Fluellen. He's got a single corner, and that's about as one-on-one as it's going to get. Safety over the top. Let's see what they do here to Dylan.
Dropping back. Firing one to the outside. It's caught. 1st down for the Buckeyes across the 50 out to the 47-yard line of Spring Hill, and you called it. That was Dylan Fluellen.
Yeah, that's just put on a dime, and Dylan just goes and gets it, moves into Spring Hill territory, 1st and 10 from the 47. Buckeyes playing fast.
Tight package from the Buckeyes. Handoff up the middle. Smith, not a lot of room. Good job again by Spring Hill. Being selfish up in the middle there. He gained about 4 yards on the carry. It's going to bring up 2nd and 6.
Buckeyes keeping them honest here, Jeff, but with that two-deep secondary and out there on the corners, the Buckeyes are very confident going 5 wide, which is what you see right here. And don't forget the wheels of Brandon Tennyson, too. He can run it.
All right, here's the snap. Tennyson drops back, fires a rocket to a wide open Rowan Fluellen, and it was just a little high. And Rowan, who normally would catch that 99 times out of 100, just drops it. That was 6 points.
That was a touchdown.
and Rowan knew it.
And Rowan knew it, and all he had to do was catch it. And I told Rowan last night after the 8th grade game that I wanted a pick and a touchdown. If those two came on the same play, I get him an extra Big Mac this week. So we'll see what he does. His little brother there.
You'll be surprised what Rowan would do for a Big Mac, buddy. I'm going to tell you now. I fed that kid a lot. I happen to know. All right, from the shotgun, man in motion. And we got false start out of the backfield.
That's going to back the Buckeyes up now to 3rd and more than 10, as it was 3rd and 6, and now that's going to be about 3rd and 11. Probably 4-down territory here for Coach Metzel.
Oh, no question. This early in the game and where they are across midfield, that's definitely 4-down territory. 3rd and 11. That'll change the play call just a little bit. And we'll see what they're going to do. Look for Mason Hurd on the top of your screen.
That's exactly what I was about to say, Jeff. To the wide side, he's one-on-one route, and there's an out route that's sitting out there, but they're going to try to bring pressure right here.
Yeah, dropping to the left side this time, and this time it's just overthrown to Dylan Fluellen. That'll bring up 4th. Let's see what the Buckeyes try to do here.
And they're going to go punt this, as Coach Metzel not happy as they had the route there. They just didn't communicate. And they had them on a 1st down. And the Buckeyes are
I am truly shocked they're going to punt this football.
Going out wide, getting all the personnel on. And
remember, Guidry's got good legs, and he's going to punt this one. And takes a good Buckeye bounce. I mean, a really good one. Down inside the 10-yard line. And they're going to take over 1st and 10 from their own 10. And let's see what the offensive staff from Spring Hill has in store for the Black Flag defense.
Well, a big dose of big number 5. He's about 245 pounds, Jeff, and he's the running back. And they got some great athletes in Spring Hill, and they will try to ground and pound these Buckeyes, and having them backed up to the 10-yard line. That's right where the Black Flag wants to start out, but important to get penetration, and the good news is that that's not the Carthage Bulldogs that they're looking across the field at. Look for this big 3 with Matt Burton.
They're about 100 pounds per man less on the offensive line, and we got some false starts here on the offensive line. That's going to back them up to the 5, so that'll be repeat 1st down, but it'll be 1st and 15 from their 5, and that is a terrible way to start if you're on the offensive side of the ball.
It really is backed up all the way inside your 10, 1st and 15. And Jeff, I think Coach Metzel is probably very frustrated at this point because there were 2 missed opportunities, really 3. I mean, from the first play, Rowan could catch that ball, he scores. Rowan catches the second ball, he scores. Missed out route, so the Buckeyes are going to try to turn it up here on defense.
Handoff up the middle to the big man, and he's going to get out a couple of yards, out to the 8-yard line, it looks like.
And anytime, Jeff, it's 2nd and more than 10, that's where the Black Flag defense wants to be. They want to lay their ears back, try to get penetration between Bryson, number 27, and big number 44, Matt Burton. That is about as good a defensive tackle combination as there is in 4A Division II football. And they really need to dominate this line of scrimmage, keep those guys off those linebackers and let them run and make plays.
All right, quarterback from the shotgun, one back in the backfield. Fakes the handoff, drops back, sets up a screen, and throws it into a lot of traffic. Pretty dangerous pass there, but luckily Buckeyes didn't come down with it if you're a Spring Hill fan, because that would have been 6.
The Buckeyes really know this offense. They see it every day in practice. Of course, with Coach Traylor over there in Spring Hill, kind of calling those offensive plays. This is the same philosophy that Gilmer has moved over into Spring Hill and kind of taking that with Coach Traylor. But Jeff, this is a huge down, and the Buckeyes have to execute defensively here early in the first quarter, get the ball back to the offense, if not try to score some points themselves.
All right, here's the snap, and the handoff up the middle is not going to be enough for a 1st down. They're going to get across the original line of scrimmage, and that's going to bring up, we're going to call it a 4th and 8.
Yeah, that's going to be punt from their own end zone most likely. And number 4 for the Buckeyes is going to be back deep. And, of course,
Cody Guidry.
That's Mr. Guidry, and he is a dangerous return man. He's standing at his own 42-yard line, Jeff, looking to set the Buckeye offense up in great field position. Special teams, such an important part of the game. Let's see what happens here.
Good snap. And they're going to punt that one away. Cody's not going to have an opportunity to return that. Nice punt there from the end zone. That's a 60-yard punt.
Yeah, that's a fabulous punt. Great bounce, the same kind of bounce that Cody got on his bounce. But once again, the Buckeye offense on for the second time. Let's see if they can calm down here. Huge opportunities in that first drive. 2 touchdowns, basically, that were missed. And let's see if they can calm down here. And, Jeff, we just want to say thanks to Stanley Ford and the Winningham Chevrolet. Got these 2 beautiful cars in both end zones, and we'll talk about our sponsors a little bit later.
All right, handoff up the middle, and he's going to fall forward for a gain of 2. That'll bring up 2nd and 8. And I tell you, that front 3 or 4 up there for Spring Hill doing a pretty good job stopping everything up the middle.
Yeah, they go run first on first down. They're playing that run on first down, but that's something that Coach Metzel will definitely adjust to. And we got an early snap as the Buckeyes having some execution issues offensively, especially with the communications. And Coach Metzel, about as animated as you're going to see on the sideline, really wanted to push for great execution offensively. Everybody doing their jobs. And I mean, really, we had 2 touchdowns on that first drive, but they just
hadn't found the rhythm yet. They'll dive into it here in a moment. You'll see them start lighting it up. 3 receivers wide to the right, 1 to the left, and 1 back in the backfield. Here's the snap. Quick pass out to number 17, Rowan, and he gets back the 3 yards or so they lost, back to just past maybe 4 yards. It's going to bring up 3rd and 9. So this is exactly what we saw earlier in the first possession, right around close to the same field position. Buckeyes were able to convert on an out route to Dylan Fluellen. Let's see if they can do it again. 5 wideouts, dropping back, launches one down the sideline, double coverage, intercepted. Great job, great concentration there by the secondary of Spring Hill to bounce that ball around and reel it in, and that is a big turnover for Spring Hill.
Yeah, and that's just a bad read, Jeff, because the short route was there, and BT pulled the trigger so early on that pass that the safety, the ball stayed in the air, the safety got back, and the corner wound up making a play on it, and that is the first turnover of the night. So offensively, the Buckeyes having their jitters halfway through the first quarter here. 2 drives, 1 stalls out with a punt. The second is an interception. He sets Spring Hill up in great field position, 1st and 10 from their own 48-yard line.
All right, Spring Hill, 1 wide out to the left, 1 to the right, 1 back in the backfield. Handoff up the middle, found a gap, and good for about 7 yards.
Down to the Buckeye 46, certainly under Buckeye territory, 2nd and 4. That's right where Spring Hill wants to be. You notice that they slow play the game clock, Jeff. They realize that, they've dodged the first bullet here. That coaching staff is really smart over there with Spring Hill. They saw drop touchdowns and realized, oh my gosh, this could already be, halfway out of hand. And using the momentum that they have off this turnover, look for them to run the football to big number 5 until the Buckeyes stop it.
All right, here's the snap. Handoff again. And he is going to be stopped at the line of scrimmage. And forward momentum got him to the line of scrimmage, but not much more. So that's going to be 3rd and 4 for Spring Hill.
He'll come out for a play, Jeff. He lost his helmet, and we just said they'll run 5 until the Buckeyes stop them. They ran number 5, and the Buckeyes stopped them. So let's see here what comes up on 3rd down. And this is an opportunity that the Buckeyes simply have to turn the Spring Hill Panthers back and really insert their will here and get a stop, because this is 4-down territory.
Tight package by Spring Hill. Handoff around the left side. Number 2, what a play.
That is
dropped
number 10,
for a 6-yard loss by number 10, Luke Watson.
And that may force the Spring Hill Panthers to punt the football right here, Jeff. and I think it will. I think they'll come in for punt. What a play by senior captain Luke Watson. Here comes the punt team. That's exactly what the black flag needed. Jet sweep, and Luke just ate that up. I mean, there's no other way to say it.
He's seen that play a time or two himself. So Cody Guidry standing on his own 15-yard line, and hopefully we'll get a return from Cody. I've been wanting him to get a good opportunity this year, and he's just not had any right to him where he had an opportunity to return it. So we'll see what they got this time. Almost blocked. And this one's not going to get a return either, as that ball comes to rest on the 17, 18-yard line. So Buckeyes pinned a little deeper than they have been, starting out with the worst field position so far in this game. And Tennyson and crew make their way out, 1st and 10 on their own 18. Let's see what they can get going right here.
5:27 left in the first quarter, no score. We've had a punt from the Buckeyes, a punt from the Spring Hill Panthers, an interception by the Buckeyes, and now a punt from Spring Hill. 0-0 your score. Let's see what the Buckeyes offensively get going here.
All right, we're going to get a false start, it looks like, potentially. Yep.
And the Buckeyes going to back up 5 yards. Pre-snap penalties about make a coach ball-headed. I mean, you will pull your hair out with pre-snap penalties. Not what Coach Metzel wanted to see as a start here, but probably not going to change the play call. 1st and 10 now, the Buckeyes down to their own 14-yard line.
All right, 5:27 left to play in the first quarter. We still have a score of 0-0. Buckeyes looking at 1st and 15. Going to be a handoff out to the right side, and that is going to be dropped for a loss. Great defensive play by Spring Hill. That was a handoff, I believe. Is that Ward?
That's Ward that came in and running back, and he spelled Kendall Jackson, who was in the previous snap, and he just missed his hole, Jeff. Instead of cutting that up outside, he tried to bounce it to the outside, and the outside linebacker had leverage. That's going to bring up 2nd down and 20 now from the Buckeye 10-yard line.
All right, Ward's still in the backfield. Tennyson drops back, looking to pass, fires a rocket, complete to number 12, Mason Hurt, who gets big yardage, but just shy of the 1st down. He's going to be about 3 yards shy, and that's going to bring up 3rd, and we'll call it 3rd and a long 3.
Yeah, that's a huge play, Jeff, just to make it 3rd down and manageable. Great throw by BT, and even a better catch by Mason, who just sat down in the open spot. BT found him and makes this down 3rd and manageable. Buckeyes need to get a 1st down here.
All right, and they're going to throw another flag on the play. That was going to be a quarterback keeper, and it looked like a lot of green grass over here. I think BT would have picked up that 1st down pretty easily.
I think that's going to be offsides against Spring Hill, and that's going to be an automatic 1st down for the Buckeyes. No, that is
they're
false
marking
start.
that off against the Buckeyes. That's I think the 3rd or 4th false start tonight. So somebody's either flag happy or we're jittery down there tonight.
Yeah, the Buckeyes just having a hard time. 1 step forward, 2 steps back on offense brings up 3rd down
and 8.
Put themselves in a hole here.
All right, they're going to run the same play, and it's not there because Spring Hill might have anticipated that. They get out almost to the 20, and that's going to force the Buckeyes to have to punt.
Yeah, 3 and out there for the Buckeyes after some self-inflicted wounds. And once again, that'll just make Coach Metzel a little bit nutso as Cody Guidry once again sets up the punt, but this time, Jeff, from his own 5-yard line.
All right, here's the snap. And Cody gets off a nice punt. Doesn't take quite the bounce we normally see. But he does get a good punt off up to the 43-yard line, 42-yard line. So good field position for Spring Hill. Let's see if they can get some momentum going on the offensive side of the ball. With 4:05 left to play in the first quarter, we're still scoreless.
Yeah, no score. Well, the answer, Jeff, to what Coach Metzel wanted to see was the Buckeyes playing consistently for 48 minutes. We're about 8 minutes in, and we got 40 minutes left to play, and so far the Buckeyes hadn't been able to get it rolling. Defensively, they played very well, but you would kind of expect that. But you're putting a lot on the defense to set up Spring Hill 1st and 10 from the Buckeye 47-yard line. Let's be prophetic here and say, this would be a great time for a turnover.
Spring Hill 2 wideouts left. Quarterback nearly trips coming out of the pocket. Launches one down the field. Great defense.
Dylan flew
nice defense by Dylan. Nearly picked it off.
Almost intercepted that pass, and that would have been like a long punt. They take their shot after they get their turnover, and that is just kind of typical of the Spring Hill offense. Now I think you're going to see a big dose of number 5. And the Buckeye defense, 2nd down and 10, that's right where they want to be. But they're going to need to 3 and out the Spring Hill Panthers here to kind of get things on track for the Buckeyes.
All right, Spring Hill, this time from the shotgun. There's a snap, handoff up the middle, and that's not going to go anywhere. Back to the line of scrimmage. That'll bring up 3rd and 10. So far tonight, we've seen a lot of 3 and out. The highlight of the game so far, the interception by Spring Hill. Other than that, it's been a little ho-hum in the first quarter.
Yeah, and the clock moving quickly. Obviously, Spring Hill milking clock. 3:34 left to play here in the first quarter. And once again, the Buckeye defense with a chance to get off the field. But whatever is in the bag of tricks for the Spring Hill Panthers, now's the time to bring it out because you're in 4-down territory, Jeff.
Got a little pressure on the quarterback here, and he's forced to throw it a little earlier, and that's out of bounds, not a catch. That's going to bring up 4th and 10, and here comes our 4th punt of the night.
Yeah,
Maybe the 5th.
I think they'll punt this ball right here, Jeff, because they're going to try to keep the Buckeyes pinned deep. 3:12 left now, and the Buckeyes will have another opportunity as the Buckeye defense certainly doing its job here early on. But the offense got to get something rolling here as they're trying to switch guys in and out. Devion Smith's going to come in.
All right, we nearly got a block earlier. Let's see if we've got a weak point over here, and the Buckeyes may actually go for this. They're coming pretty hard. Got off a good punt. Cody's going to get to field this one. Turns it upfield down the sideline, and he is thrown down after he passes the 30th, and that's going to draw a personal foul. They're going to call that a horse collar, I think. And that'll mark off 15 extra yards from the 32.
That's a good call by the line judge there, as number 11 for the Spring Hill Panthers just grabs him as he's running by. He just grabbed him literally by the back of the shoulder pads. It is the definition of a horse collar, and that's going to bring the ball all the way out close to midfield. They waved that off, Jeff. All right, well, the Buckeyes
wave it off.
Miss out on another break there, and Spring Hill catches another break, and for the Buckeyes, it'll be 1st and 10 from their own 32. 5 wide again as Spring Hill's daring them to throw it down the field. Let's see what they do.
All right, 5 wide outs, 3 to the left, 1 to the right. Tennyson bobbles it. He's able to come down with it. He's looking to throw, dodges 1 tackle, turns upfield for big yardage. And Tennyson definitely a threat on his feet. You know, I wish every pass that we threw was a rollout with Tennyson. I really do, because
you will see more of that as the season progresses.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, with Tennyson, I wish everything was roll out. I'd never leave him in the pocket simply because he has options at that point. He can roll out there, and if he sees grass, let him run. All right, this is complete to Cody Guidry to the left side. Cody's got some room to run. He picks up the 1st down plus a little more as he makes it across midfield out to the 45 of Spring Hill. That'll be a big 1st down for the Buckeyes.
Cody just comes in motion out of that halfback position, Jeff, and that's just basically a sweep play in this spread offense, and that goes for a big gain. 1st and 10 Buckeyes inside Spring Hill territory. Feeling a little rhythm coming on here, Jeff.
All right, another fumble. Tennyson picks it up. He's going to run with it. He gets back to the line of scrimmage, and we've had a little bit of the bobbles tonight.
Yeah, the same thing happened on the previous play. It was a little bit high and coming just like it shot out of a cannon. And,
yeah, that ball was coming pretty quick. I thought it was a good snap, though. I mean,
it looked like it hit him in the hands.
Yeah,
it was a little bit hot.
Little hot. 2 wide outs to the right, 2 to the left, 1 back. Tennyson drops back, fires a rocket down the sideline, looks overthrown, and is that an interception?
No, that's out of bounds.
Saying out of bounds. Boy, that sure looked like an interception from here. And I'll tell you what, the Spring Hill coaches they think it's an interception too. I'm not sure that wasn't a bad call. That looked like an interception from my vantage point.
Yeah, we don't have instant replay, Jeff, but they may have been bobbling that ball as Mason Hurt turns into a defensive back there. But more importantly for the Buckeyes, another 3rd down and long in 4-down territory. And the Buckeyes here with 2:04 left to play in the first quarter, you score 0-0, can kind of ill afford to let this opportunity slip by. They got to get some points.
Yeah, I tell you what, Todd,
relaxed.
the story tonight so far is the secondary for Spring Hill. They've performed extremely well. And they try for a quarterback draw, and, man, they just sniffed that one out. So that we get back to the line of scrimmage. That's going to bring 4th and 9, and Spring Hill's front line does a great job of reading the draw and just shutting it down.
Yeah, they're going to spy Brandon Tennyson, no doubt. They've seen the film. They know Brandon can run in any given certain situation. You're going to have him bottled up, at least on the corners. But 4th down and 8, no hesitation from Coach Metzel. The Buckeyes going for it here.
All right, here's the snap. Fires a bullet. That's going to be caught for a 1st down. That's Mason.
That's as sure a security blanket as you can get.
It really is. I mean, that out route, Mason has saved how many 1st downs?
Countless.
In 3rd and long or 4th down to, that 10 and out route, Mason's just got that down. He's got hands. He's tall. He can lean. So even if you throw it a little out of bounds, he can throw his toe in. He does a great job. I like that pass. Here is a sweep around the left side. Cody Guidry's headed to the house. He will score.
Oh, they say he stepped out of bounds at the 7-yard line,
man, he was robbed.
And I think the Buckeyes got away with a hold there as well, as he just got wide enough to get the corner. But nevertheless, 1st and goal for the Buckeyes, knocking on the door finally here with 1:17 left in the first quarter.
All right, Cody Guidry, the back in the backfield. Here's a snap. Hand off to Cody. Nothing there. Drop for a loss.
Lost 2 yards there.
Man, what is up with the front four for Spring Hill?
Yeah, especially on that right side. Number 15 is kind of having his way there. And that's normally the strength of the Buckeyes' offensive line. Brings up 2nd and goal from the 8 now.
All right, here's the snap. Quarterback keeper, left side. Tennyson, touchdown.
No doubt about that one, as Brandon Tennyson does it himself with his legs. And the Buckeyes finally hit the scoreboard with 48 seconds left in the first quarter, Jeff. And on this side, you can kind of feel a big, giant exhale. And let's see if the Buckeyes now can kind of put their foot on the accelerator. It took them a little while to get going here in this first quarter, but they finally draw first blood.
I wouldn't be surprised to see them go for 2 here, but they look like they're going to kick. So Hernandez in for the extra point attempt.
Cody Guidry in for the hold.
And the kick is up and good. And so, folks, 48 seconds left in the first quarter. Buckeyes on the scoreboard, 7, Spring Hill 0. We'll be right back after these messages.
At Farmers Insurance, we've seen almost everything, so we know how to cover almost anything, even a rock and wreck. He rocked and rolled right into it, but we covered it. At Farmers, we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
When tragedy strikes, you don't want to be in a position where you're second guessing your lawyer's ability or the resolve to get you fairly compensated. When you hire Godarzi & Young, you know you're hiring a law firm that has nationally ranked settlements and verdicts. We have over 2 decades of experience holding 18-wheeler companies accountable for their negligent action. Don't make the mistake of hiring anybody else. Hire the best. Hire Godarzi & Young.
All right, back to the action here in Jeff Traylor Stadium. Buckeyes just got on the scoreboard with 48 seconds left to play in the first. And here is the ensuing kickoff, and they're going to do a high pooch kick. It's going to go out of bounds. And so Spring Hill is going to get to come in and get good field position for their next possession. This will be like the last play of the first quarter. So a little slow start tonight, a much slower than Alan Metzel would have liked to have for the Buckeyes, but they do get on the scoreboard before the end of the first quarter. Maybe they'll lay their ears back here in the second quarter.
Well, as we said at the top of the show, Jeff, the one thing that Coach Metzel wanted to see was just a consistent 48 minutes of good execution. it was great execution on the defensive side of the ball. On the offensive side of the ball, the Buckeyes really took 4 possessions to kind of get it going. 4 possessions and a half, Jeff. And remember, they came out and really dropped a touchdown pass. Otherwise, it could have gone a lot different. The little things mean everything, and that's what this Buckeye team really is in the process of learning.
Tight formation, handoff, and there is nothing there. They're just going to stop the running back. I don't think they're going to let him have a lot tonight up the middle. And we got a flag on the play, and it was thrown late, so I don't know if that's either a face mask or maybe a you would think a hold maybe, but I'm not sure.
I don't know. The referee had something to say to number 10, Luke Watson.
He's talking to Luke.
Yeah, and Luke basically had almost his jersey pulled off in terms of his jersey. I think that might be a hold, but this may be a personal foul.
So they got after Luke, evidently. Hands to the face.
Yeah. Well, that's against that. That was obviously on Luke, and I think maybe he might have been saying, look, don't retaliate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'll flag you too. But that puts Spring Hill in a deep hole with 38 seconds left here in the first quarter. After that kind of self-inflicted wound, that gives the Buckeyes the opportunity to really lay their ears back here. Choice in at linebacker, and first and forever. It's 1st and 25, Jeff, from the 25-yard line. And look for Spring Hill to let the clock run. They'll have to run one more play here in the first quarter.
Yeah, I'm seeing Coach Dodd down there talking to Luke. I can't tell if he's giving him a motivational speech like, hey, way to go not to retaliate, or you better quit whatever you're doing. I can't tell which one that was. I'll have to find out after the game. Handoff, fakes the handoff, and quarterback keeps it. And he gets about 4 yards on the carry out to the 29-yard line.
That's going to end the first quarter. Buckeyes lead 7-0 here early over the Spring Hill Panthers. First district game, folks. It counts from here on in. Let's see what the second quarter holds. We'll be right back with a word from our great sponsors.
Extra, extra. Read all about tonight's game in Thursday's Gilmer Mirror, complete with pictures, coaches' comments, and a look at next week's opponent. The Gilmer Mirror has been serving the citizens of Upshur County since 1877. Reading the news online is fine, but there is nothing like physically picking up your hometown paper, turning the pages, and catching up on everything going on in our area. If you're not subscribing to the Gilmer Mirror, you're probably missing out. It's one of my favorite publications, and I know you'll love it too. The Gilmer Mirror, www.gilmermirror.com. All right, back to Jeff Traylor Stadium, and we are now beginning the second quarter. Gilmer leads 7-0. Spring Hill playing a pretty good game tonight, certainly one they're happy with. Definitely not one that Coach Metzel was happy with, as he wants to play 4 full quarters of football. So Spring Hill looking at second and forever. Looks like second and about second and 21.
They need midfield, Jeff, for the first down. Very hesitant to go to the air here because Spring Hill wants to keep it on the ground and keep it close and keep the clock running. Let's see what happens.
They're looking for a quick pass. Nobody open. He throws it away wisely. Quarterback rolls around, and he wanted to do a little quick pass that was covered very well.
Yeah, that's Marche Spraglin and number 3, Devion Smith out there. They had that doubled up, and there was no place to go with that football. And that brings up 3rd and forever. More importantly, Jeff, 4 seconds go off the clock, stops the clock right there. So it gives the Buckeyes more time to get more snaps, to get into an offensive rhythm. And that's really, as Coach Metzel was saying on Wednesday, the next 5 weeks is really about a faceless opponent. It's really about the Buckeyes trying to play as best as Buckeyes can play. And so far here tonight, let's call it a low B so far.
All right, here's the pass, wide open out in the flats, number 19, big gain. That's about a 15-yard, 13-yard gain, and that gets them back inside past the original line of scrimmage. It's going to bring up still 4th and long. We're going to call it about 4th and 6.
Yeah, they're going to come punt just to keep everything in front of you. Devion Smith doing a good job. He just sits down right there in the zone, a little 7 route. Comes about 14 yards down the field, just takes 2 steps in and sits down. Quarterback does a good job finding him, but nonetheless, Devion does a good job keeping it in front of him, brings up 4th and 7, and Spring Hill's going to punt now for the 5th time so far tonight.
All right, here's the snap. It's a good one. Buckeyes putting a lot of pressure on the punter. Big punt, and that one is going to go out of bounds around the 25, 26. So 1st and 10 on the 26 is where Buckeyes are going to pick up and go to work.
And we got a flag down, Jeff. Surprise, surprise, as I'm not sure what the call is going to be, but that was thrown by the referee all the way in the back. And if that's roughing the kicker, running into the kicker, that's going to bring them up to 4th and 1, Jeff, from their own 49-yard line, as the Buckeyes are going to assume that they're going to punt this again, and I would not make that assumption. I mean, I think, Jeff, this is an opportunity for Spring Hill to get whatever they got in the playbook.
Well, I'm going to be curious here too, because the obvious that they're going to know we're keying on number 5 here.
Yeah, they're coming out,
and so surely they're going to do something other than that.
Well, they only need 1 yard for a first down.
They're going to hand it to him. Handoff, number 5 up the gut, and he just runs in behind his blockers. I think he might have got it.
Yeah, he did. He picks up the first down across midfield. That moves the chains. And once again, Jeff, the Buckeyes just don't execute. They get a penalty and keep a drive alive for Spring Hill as we're into the second quarter now. And those are the kind of mistakes that Coach Metzel just really wants to try to eliminate and clean up.
We like to give shout-outs every once in a while to some of our fans listening. And tonight, I want to give a shout-out to my favorite child, my lovely 14-year-old daughter, Brooklyn.
The cross-country star?
She is the cross-country star of our family, and she's listening to the Buckeyes tonight. Brooklyn, Daddy loves you. And here is a pass, a go route right down the side, and that's going to fall incomplete. That's covered by Marche Spraglin, and that's going to bring up 2nd and 10.
Speaking of shout-outs, Jeff, we want to talk about the offensive player, scout team player of the week, Javarian Martin, and the defensive scout team player of the week, Sam Fluellen. We also want to have a special shout-out to a couple of folks out there listening, Bob Lindsay and Mr. Larry Underwood. Also, your high school football coach, Mr. Doug Bush, who's down in Houston in the hospital right now. I want to say a special shout-out to Coach Bush. We're thinking about you in our prayers, Coach, and go Buckeyes.
Motion, fakes the handoff. Hands off up the middle, and that's going to be maybe back to the line of scrimmage, 3rd and 10 for Spring Hill.
Now let's see if the Buckeyes can manage to get off the field this time in all 4 downs, not just 3. 10 minutes now left in this half. Buckeyes lead is only 7-0.
Hey, you know how sometimes I stick my foot in my mouth? My older daughter, Brinkley, never listens to the games, right? She's always busy.
Now.
She's listening, so she heard Dad say favorite child, right? So, favorite child under 15.
Who runs cross country?
That's right, yeah. No, Brooklyn's my cuddler, so she's my, Brinkley's just she's like a cat. She'll let you pet her when she wants to, but other than that, she don't want anything to do with you. All right, here's the quarterback dropping pass. He's in trouble, and he's going to be drugged down for a big loss.
Fumble
on the play.
See if they count that down as Mr. Choice tracks that one down and brings up 3rd down and forever. That's going to be 4th down now. And now let's see, 2 minutes and 36 seconds later, Jeff, if the Buckeyes can actually get off the field. Running into the kicker was the last call that allowed the Spring Hill Panthers to pick up a 1st down. And once again, the Buckeyes get away with that. But those are the things, Jeff, against great quality teams like Pleasant Grove and Carthage that you're not going to get away with. And that's where Coach Metzel wants to keep the focus. Let's see what this punt does here.
They get off a nice punt, and it is going to fall out of bounds around the 27-yard line.
1st and 10 Buckeyes once again. 8:45 left, Jeff, and you got to think that the Buckeyes would like to have a couple of more scores on the board going in at half. As a 7-0 deficit for Spring Hill, now almost a quarter and a half through this ball game, is really a moral victory. They're in the ball game, and that's something that the Buckeyes didn't want to see happen. They want to come out, start fast, and no offensive rhythm so far really for the Buckeyes. Let's see if they can get it going now.
All right, they're going to launch this one. I mean, he airs out a 50-yard bomb, and what a great defensive play, and he drew a flag. Yeah, number 6, it looked clean to me. Well, I'm trying to be as objective as I can, and I often get aggravated about when they get flags on just good defensive efforts. I thought that was a good defensive effort.
Well, Jeff, the difference is that Dylan played great position. He had him on his back. He kind of kept him on his back and forced the defender to come over the top of him to make a play on that ball.
Man, that looked clean to me. It looked clean. Great. I mean, I'm glad. I'm happy about it. Don't get me wrong as a Buckeye fan, but, you know, that is going to be an automatic first down. That's 15 yards and an automatic first down. But, man, it sure looked like a lot of effort to me on Spring Hill's part. But I'll sure take the first down. 1st and 10 from the Buckeye 42. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Quick pass, complete to number 2, Jaden Griffin, following his blockers down the sideline. He's going to get dangerously close to another first down.
Yeah, great play there. Great throw. That's just basically a sweep play out to Jaden Griffin on the edge. And he follows big number 14, Dylan flew out on his block and moves the chains into Spring Hill territory.
All right, high snap. Tennyson able to pull it down. Got a wide open man, number 2, Jaden Griffith, dodging tackles. Gets about 15 yards on that one. That's going to be moving the chains. Now, this is what you want right here. This is the rhythm you're used to seeing. These guys have been off for a couple of weeks. Right? Got a little rust on them, and they're knocking the rust off now, and they are moving the football. And so let's see who they go to here. We're sending 5 wide. 3 right, 2 left. Tennyson by himself. Drops back, fires a rocket. Number 17, Rowan Flewell inside the 5.
That's just...
I hated catching those. You remember Rowdy Nutt used to throw balls at us? And I hated, he always wanted to warm up with me on the sideline, and I hated it.
No fun.
Because it hurt your hands so bad, especially when it got cold, like in November. And I don't know how they reel those in. I mean, he just threw an absolute heater. Handoff up the middle. Number 3, Smith bounces outside, gets the touchdown.
Good job by Devion Smith. Bouncing to the open line in 39 seconds after they start this drive from their own 26-yard line. The Buckeyes draw pay dirt. 13-0 now, 8:01. As there's your rhythm. There's a little bit of the offense that you wanted to see really from the first drive, Jeff.
Momentum on the Buckeyes side here as Hernandez comes in for the extra point attempt. High snap, and it is, I think it's going to be good. It bounces off the upright, but hey, we'll take it any way we can get it. We'll be right back to the game right after this word from our messenger, our sponsors. Easy for you to say.
Because of investments in our surrounding infrastructure, eTex offers advanced improvements in internet connections, service experience, and quality of life for our customers. The driving force for eTex has been to create a state-of-the-art company using both the latest technology and local expert technicians, people you know. And best of all, a certified support team that delivers quality support within hours, not days. eTex, local support from the team you trust.
Back to the action here in Jeff Traylor Stadium. Buckeyes just scored with 8:01 left to play in the first half. Score is now Gilmer 14, Spring Hill 0, and the Buckeyes are set to kick off. And Todd, you feel like this would be a good opportunity for an onside kick?
I really do. I mean, you know, Coach Metzel now is frustrated. Obviously, the first quarter, the Buckeyes don't score. They missed 2 opportunities in the first 3 plays to score touchdowns, you want to develop a killer instinct against a team like Spring Hill that you should be beating, by 3 or 4 touchdowns. And the defense is playing great, so why not? And of course, they kick it deep.
They're going to kick it deep down to around the 16-yard line. Number 6 with the wheels. Helmet comes off, flag down, and he runs out of bounds wisely.
Flag comes down, and that's Kiki Johnson that got great pursuit, and I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, I'm not either. He just pulled his helmet off of him. So I'm going to be curious how this will go down. I've never seen that happen. I've watched a lot of football. That's the first time I've ever seen that.
Yeah, it didn't look like Kiki tried to rip his helmet off by any stretch of the imagination. He was just trying to grab a hold of him. But they are going to call it a face mask against Kiki. So that's going to bring it out to the 35-yard line. As Kiki's got great position on him and is trying to reach out to tackle him. I think as soon as he tried to grab his jersey, somehow he wound up grabbing hold of his helmet, which literally just popped off like
I thought he
like
grabbed
a
it from
top.
the back of the helmet, actually. We want to give a shout-out, too, to one of the Buckeyes' biggest fan, one of the most loyal fan, and the one from probably the furthest away, Miss Sarah Sharp Allen.
Sarah, thanks for listening, and to Colonel Neil Metzel that's out there in Japan. We want to say shout out to him as well.
Complete, but only good for nothing.
Maybe a yard.
Maybe a half a yard.
Devion Smith on the coverage out there as he closed very quickly. Goes out of bounds. Clock continues to run, though. That'll be
gain on the
second
play.
down and 10 for Spring Hill now.
I tell you, we talked earlier about Mr. Snow, who's here from the 101st Airborne. The guy flew in with the 101st Airborne on D-Day into Normandy. Big-time hero in our presence here tonight. And I am so grateful not only for our country, but the opportunity to be here and watch some football on Friday night. And that play sniffed out by the Buckeyes. Everybody there to make the stop. Maybe about 3 on that. Gain of about 3 on that play. So that's going to bring up 3rd and 7.
Dylan Fluellen coming up from a safety position and just closing on that jet sweep. They had an edge there that just got shut down. Jaden Smith does a fantastic job just trying to hold his ground, taking on that lead blocker. Number 5, Jet Jones, gets in there, and then 14, Dylan Fluellen, clears the way for him to come up and like a heat-seeking missile makes that play and brings up 3rd down and about, let's call it a long 7. And once again, opportunity for the Buckeye defense to get off the field and get the ball back to the offense.
All right, let's see what we got here.
That's going to back up 5. It's going to be a legal procedure against Spring Hill.
That's going to back them up. That'll be 3rd and 12.
3rd and 12. Probably a change in the play call here, Jeff. So look for Spring Hill to try to throw it. Look for the Buckeyes to try to get pressure. And 6 minutes and 16 seconds left. Hopefully let's have an incomplete pass or worse for Spring Hill and stop the clock and an opportunity for the Buckeyes to get the football back in pretty good field position.
DJ Bull getting the crowd into it here in the Buckeye Stadium. They set up a screen and there's nothing there. He just has to throw it away. That'll be 4th and 12, and Spring Hill's going to have to punt with 5:58 left to play in the first half, and that's what the Buckeyes want. They want to be able to kind of march down the field again, put another score or 2 on the board before this half ends.
Great job on the defensive side, Jeff, really all night long for the Buckeyes as they've made play after play, not just holding Spring Hill to a goose egg, but getting off the field. 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, and giving the Buckeyes an opportunity to get the ball back on offense.
All right. Another good punt there by Spring Hill, and ball dangerous, bouncing around black shirts out there. And 5:50 left to play in the game. Buckeyes are going to take over 1st and 10 on their own 34-yard line. So let's see if they can come out and continue the momentum they had in the last series where they were just
BT just sliced
slinging
it up.
them.
He sliced it up on that last drive. And I think this may be a similar drive, Jeff. Big choice in the back field with BT. Look for him to keep it on the ground, but the Buckeyes on a mission here to go score.
And we got another flag on the play. I don't know if we're really playing that sloppy tonight or if we've just got, one of those crews that like to throw flags. Sometimes they just ignore little things. And then you got other crews that, man, if you bobble, you twitch, they're on you. You just don't know what you're going to get. So,
and that's called on Dylan Fluellen all the way out here on the edge. The last guy you would expect to jump, the furthest guy on the field away from the ball on the offensive side. 1st and 15 now inside the 30 for the Buckeyes.
All right, handoff up the middle, and not much there, maybe a couple of yards.
Choice is only going to get 2. That's going to bring up 2nd and 13 now, as this is going to click down under 5:30. The Buckeyes taking their time getting the play in. Once again, Coach Metzel wants to see a positive play here, get some positive yards and then establish a drive. It's so difficult with 3rd and more than 10 from your own end.
Choice going in motion. Out across the middle, overthrows Jaden Griffin. That's going to bring up 3rd and 13.
Right where the Buckeyes don't want to be. And Jaden ran a great route and had him wide open. BT just sailed it on him. And kind of uncharacteristic in practice all week. That's one that he's been dead on the money. But now they're going to have to convert it because they're well within their own territory, Jeff. So look for Dylan Flewellen here, and look also for number 2, Jaden Griffin, on a similar route in the middle of the field.
All right, here's the snap, and another flag is down. Now that was thrown too late to be another false start. That's like, what is
That's
it,
about
the seventh or eighth false start tonight?
And that will drive Coach Metzel absolutely crazy. As just self-inflicted wounds there, as the offensive line for the Buckeyes just having a tough time here so far in this first half.
I'm just not seeing movement. I don't know who's moving or how much, but I'm not seeing what the refs are seeing for sure. Screen set up for Choice, throws a good stiff arm, and gets back almost to the original line of scrimmage. That's going to bring up 4th and 11. They're going to have to punt it again.
Yeah, just not executed very well there by the Buckeyes in terms of the offensive line. Normally if you've got big number 24 Choice that gets a clean screenplay, normally you would think that you'd have a convoy in front of him, but 4:35 left, and the Buckeyes once again sputter offensively. You're going to have to punt this one away.
All right, here's the snap, and we got a nice high kick. It's going to fall out of bounds around the, we'll say the 44-yard line. And Todd, this is what we've seen for the last 4 years with
Spring Hill.
With Spring Hill. I don't know what it is, but
hang around.
It's like there's no energy on either side of the stadium. The fans are just kind of here eating popcorn. There's no energy on the sidelines. There's not a lot of energy on the field. It's kind of like we have to play. It's Friday night. We don't really, the last game we played here was electric.
Yeah,
you're
absolutely.
playing against Carthage, and everybody's
even
playing
down
up.
At halftime. It didn't matter.
It just feels like there's just a cloud over the stadium every time we play these guys. I don't know what it is. The quarterback rolls out to his left side, dumps one, and he's going to complete that for a first down. Nice job by the offensive unit of Spring Hill. But it just seems like there's always this lack of energy. Like we're just not going to play up for these guys. We're not real concerned. We're just going to kind of get through it. I don't know. And that drives Allen insane.
Yeah, absolutely
he
crazy.
wants everybody, you want your team up and hyped for every single game.
Well, he couldn't have been more clear on Wednesday of what he wanted to see. Obviously, this is a team that is in the process after an unbelievably difficult and emotional first third of the season. Now you're supposed to coach for 4 weeks because your opponents aren't supposed to be good, but it's about the Buckeyes playing up to a specific level. And so far, as big number 5 breaks a tackle and busts into inside the 35-yard line for another first down.
That's his best run of the night.
Yeah, by far.
there. Yeah.
By far for 13 yards. It's not like the Buckeyes don't know where it's going. It's just like from a defensive standpoint, the mentality that it really takes to go win state championships. It's, when you look at the number 1 ranked Carthage Bulldogs, it's there every play. Every single play, everybody is executing up to a certain level. There are no, false starts. There's mistakes certainly, but that's the level of execution that the Buckeyes are going to have to get to go compete against the Pleasant Groves and the Carthages. The talent is obviously there, but they just got to go execute it. Great execution there up front, as that's a quarterback keeper, and Luke Watson certainly blew up the run option on that. It's going to bring up 2nd and 10, but you see this with an injury on the field, Jeff. But Spring Hill, if you would have told them getting off the bus, hey, going into halftime, you're going to be down 14-0, Jeff, they'll take that all day long and twice on Sunday.
Last time we played them, I think we went into halftime
down 14.
Yeah.
And wound up winning by 2 points. And that is an opportunity for us, Jeff, to recognize a few of our sponsors as we got an injury on the field. We'll be right back after these messages.
Growing up as a child in East Texas, I was always taught that I had to outwork my opponent. That same principle has carried over into our law firm. And for over 20 years, we've outworked each and every insurance company, lawyer, or corporation we've gone against. If you look at our results, they prove it. Put us to work for you, and we promise to never stray from the same East Texas work ethic that you were raised on.
120 years ago, First National Bank of Gilmer opened its doors to meet the needs of its customers. Through the years, we added other names to our banking family. Now, we're proudly unified under a single name, First National Bank of East Texas, because together, we're better for you, your families, your businesses, and our communities. We're the same great bank with the same great people and services you can depend on. First National Bank of East Texas. Together, we're better.
All right, we're back to the action here in Jeff Traylor Stadium. Gilmer Buckeyes lead the Spring Hill Panthers 14-0 with 3:34 left to play in the first half if you're just joining us. So we've got an injured player making his way off the field, and we hope that young man recovers quickly. That is one of the linemen for Spring Hill. Looks like a knee injury. He is really nursing that knee coming off the field.
Hate to see that, Jeff. No matter what color jersey the guys are wearing, you know, it's a physical game, and for the Spring Hill Panthers, that's a big loss. That is one of their top guys on the offensive line. Second down and 10, but deep inside Buckeye territory. Jeff, this is by far and away the Spring Hill Panthers' best opportunity to get points on the board all night.
All right, once again, 3:19 left to play, and you know they want to get a score here and try to go in and keep this thing as close as they can. Rolling to the right side, got a man open. That's going to be a gain of about 4 yards.
Good tackle there by Dylan Fluellen, who's played a great game defensively, Jeff, coming up and making tackles. And that's going to bring up fourth down and about 8. And
yeah, he only got a couple on that. I thought he had about 4 on that, maybe 2.
And that's just closing speed there. As you got 2 really good safeties back there that are playing on Saturday safeties, in Dylan Fluellen and Devion Smith. Number 1, both of them can fly. Number 2, both of them very physical as big senior leaders. Now that's going to be 3rd and 8. I thought that was 3rd down right there, Jeff. Maybe this is 3rd down.
Quarterback rolling to his right. And flag on the play. They're going to call this time interference on Dylan Fluellen.
As he came over the back of the receiver that I think was out of bounds anyway, Jeff. I don't think he would have made that a play. But Dylan had him covered, and he had him covered a little bit too aggressively. That's going to give Spring Hill now 2 big advantages, Jeff. Number 1, they're going to pick up a first down. Number 2, they're going to be inside of the red zone. And number 3, most importantly, Jeff, there's only 2 minutes left in the half. They're going to limit the Buckeyes offensively from being able to come back on the field. And to your point, Jeff, earlier, just kind of a yawner that Spring Hill could very well take, 14-7 into the half, and they're in the game. And here's 48 minutes, 24 of those are gone for the Buckeyes, and they've let a team that really doesn't belong on the field with them talent-wise hang around. And once again, you're in there having that now all too familiar halftime talk that is, hey, we got to go play now because we spent 2 quarters basically letting the team, have their way.
All right, from the shotgun, back goes in motion. And that ball is going to fall incomplete, intended for number 19.
Stops the clock, Jeff, very importantly. Now, one thing I noticed in warm-ups, Jeff, the Spring Hill Panthers have a great kicker. So they are well within his field goal range. He was hitting field goals from almost 40 yards out earlier in warm-up. So no issue there in terms of field goal range for the Buckeyes. I think in order to stop Spring Hill from having a scoring drive here, they're going to need to come up with a turnover.
Here's the snap. Quarterback under heavy pressure. Launches one, and that is another flag on the play. I can't wait to see the stats tonight to see how many yardages, how many yards, and how many flags have hit the ground tonight.
That's going to be a hold, I think, against Davion Smith. That's going to be an automatic first down, and give that ball to Spring Hill inside the 10, first and goal.
That is the second pass interference on this drive against the Buckeyes. And that puts the ball first and goal on the 6. So really giving Spring Hill an opportunity. The Buckeyes black flag really going to have to step up here to try to keep them out of the end zone and into the ball game.
Yeah, more importantly, Jeff, there's only 2 minutes left. So here you load up behind big number 5. You take 4 shots. you hope that they can, big number 5 can push this and push 6 yards. As they're going to let the play clock wind down, they're going to have to take a timeout here, Jeff. We'll take a timeout as well and come back for the last 2:11 in the first half, and I hope that the Buckeye black flag can make a stop.
Winningham Chevrolet is proud to support the Gilmer Buckeyes. Don't miss out on the 15% savings on the 2020 Blazer, Equinox, and Trax. And remember, our service department is now open Saturday 8 to 12. Stop by and see Jay, Roger, and Lindsay at Winningham Chevrolet.
And back to the action here in Jeff Truther Stadium as we have 2:11 left to play in the first half. Buckeyes lead 14-0, but after 2, not 1, 2 pass interference calls. That's given 2 automatic first downs plus 30 yards.
Yeah, which is the only positive offense that Spring Hill has had, by the way, is on this drive is both those interference penalties against Dylan Fluellen. First and goal from the 6 now, Jeff, an imperative that the Buckeyes find a way to turn Spring Hill away here. They can cut this lead in half and go into halftime. Remember, Jeff, they get the ball to start the second half as well.
Yeah, I would anticipate those guys, they're going for the corner of the end zone, and that ball is going to fall incomplete. I'm really shocked that they don't try to just hammer 6 yards with that.
With number 5.
Number 5,
yeah.
that tailback.
He's about 5'10" and probably 230 pounds.
I would have said 5'6" and 240.
Yeah, he is a wide load.
He is. He's got a low center of gravity, and he's a hard runner.
2:06 now left in the half, and closing out halves and closing out quarters. That's something that championship teams learn to do, Jeff. And right now the Buckeyes, self-inflicted wounds, are looking to give up points to close the half, and that's not at all where they want to be.
Here's the snap handoff, number 5. They sniffed that one out. Stop him at the line of scrimmage. That'll bring up 3rd and goal from the 6.
Coach Metzel going to use his timeout, doing his best Matt Turner impersonation and making a great timeout. He's got 3 timeouts in the first half. He uses that one there to get the ball back. And Jeff, let's talk about some of our great sponsors. Winningham Chevrolet here tonight. Got that new Blazer down there in the corner. I'm glad that Dolly's not here looking at that because I think she would want one. And then your favorite white truck down there from Stanley Ford in the south end zone. And there are some attractive vehicles from our sponsors, both Winningham Chevrolet and Stanley Ford. We appreciate them so much and all they do for our athletic program. And also want a special shout out to Godarzi and Young for what they do for the band. The band want to make sure that we give them a special shout out. Of course, they are band sponsor. They're our keynote sponsor. Just a world-class law firm right here in Gilmer, Texas. And they do so much for our kids, those former Buckeyes. And we are proud of Brent and Marty. And what they do for our kids is much appreciated.
And they do a lot. They do much. All right, let's see what they've got here. 3rd and 6. They're going to pass. Quarterback's forced out of the pocket, rolling to his right. He's got time, tucks it up, and goes for the end zone. Did he get it? Yeah, he got it. Touchdown.
Spring Hill. And Jeff, that's exactly what the Buckeyes did not want to have happen. They cover that route, and the quarterback winds up finding his way in the end zone. Luke Watson went to shut that door, and big number 5 threw a block. Oh, they're saying a fumble into the end zone and recovered by the offense.
Okay.
So now the point after, and just like that, Jeff, with 1:47 left, Spring Hill cuts this lead in half with a chance to make this 14-7.
All right, here's the snap. And it is blocked. Buckeyes pick it up and are tackled. And so they're going to hold them to 6 there with 1:47 left to play in the first half. It's Gilmer 14, Spring Hill 6. We'll be right back.
The Med Shop Pharmacy in Gilmer's features a drive-through pharmacy for all your prescription and over-the-counter drug needs. Place refills using our free phone app RX2Go or use our convenient auto refill line 24/7 at 903-680-2626. Stop by and see our unique gift items for all occasions or visit us on the web at gilmermedshop.com. And don't forget, the Med Shop is your flu shot and vaccine headquarters for the fall and winter season. The Med Shop Pharmacy, your friendly hometown pharmacy.
Two-time Hall of Fame and
All right, back to Jeff Traylor Stadium here with 1:47 left to play. In the first half, Gilmer 14, Spring Hill 6 after the extra point attempt was blocked. And so Buckeyes have got 1:47, Todd, to get in the end zone, put this up to 21.
Well, they want to do exactly that, Jeff. Make no mistake. This has not been the way that Coach Metzel wanted to see this game start. And we've got another pooch kick coming up here. That'll be taken by Rowan Flewellen. No, I'm sorry. That's number 4, Cody Guidry.
That's Cody Guidry, and he's not going to get much on that one. Great defense there on the kickoff team by Spring Hill. Nice open field tackle out on the 33-yard line. So Gilmer's going to come over 1st and 10 from their own 33-yard line with 1:42 on the clock. Let's see if they can punch one in before halftime.
Yeah, it should not take long. This offense has the ability to strike quickly, Jeff. And remember, the first 5 plays from scrimmage, the Buckeyes pretty much had 2 touchdowns in the bag. Just the little things offensively, they hadn't really been able to get any gear all night. Let's see if they can do it to close the half out here.
All right, got a quick pass complete to number 2, Jaden Griffin, and he's going to pick up about 15 on that one. Nice call there. And I tell you what, I've been kind of impressed watching this secondary and the defensive line for Spring Hill. Not a bad little defense they've got put together over there. They got some athletes.
Yeah, they're talented, and they've challenged the Buckeyes here tonight, and it's just about the little things in execution.
All right, they're going to set up a screen, and boy, was that read well by the defensive end on the right side. He saw that, turned around, and just chased our back down. And just a good job there snuffing that one out. 5-yard gain on the screen. Here's the snap. Everybody's going deep. He's going to launch one. Down the field. He's got it. Number 14, Dylan Flewellen, touchdown Buckeyes. And that's what they've been looking for all night. And Dylan had him beat by 3 steps. And reels one in, and we thought he needed 1:42 seconds. And he only needed about 38. We got 1:05 left.
Yeah, Jeff, this half is not done yet as the Buckeyes answer very quickly. And
now's the onside kick.
Now's the onside kick. It's coming right here. And Coach Metzel is going to try to stretch this out as much as he can. Obviously, the potential and the threat is there as the kick is up, and it is good to stretch this to 21-6. Buckeyes answer quickly. Still 1:05 left, Jeff. Let's see if the Buckeyes got some more fireworks in store. We'll be right back after these messages.
Two-time Hall of Fame inductees, Brent Godarzi and Marty Young. Back-to-back #1 trucking firm in the nation. Back-to-back best attorney and best law firm in East Texas.
Crowley Funeral Home has been serving families in Gilmer since 1883. Funeral director and Gilmer High School graduate Troy Murray leads the professional staff at Crowley Funeral Home and is committed to providing dignified, respectful, and compassionate assistance to every family in their time of need. Crowley Funeral Home feels strongly about maintaining high standards of excellent service while still keeping prices affordable. At Crowley Funeral Home, we treat your family as our own.
Back to the action here in Jeff Traylor Stadium. We got a minute 5 left. Gilmer leads 21-6. And they have got Hernandez in here, so it looks like they are not going to onside kick. They are going to kick this one deep.
Hernandez has got a big leg.
Yeah, they're going to put this one, a little squib kick. Fumbled down around the 15-yard line. Number 6 out to the right side, got room to run, and takes a shot. What a tough runner. And boy, he could have ran out of bounds, and he chose to take him on. That is a tough young man. And that was a major collision over on the right side.
Parker Gillow, who got his nose.
Was it Parker?
Yeah.
Well, he held his ground.
Yeah, he did. 57 seconds left, 2 timeouts for the Buckeyes. So Spring Hill is going to be able to run this clock out if they see fit. And once again, Jeff, Spring Hill deferred after winning the kick, winning the toss. So they're going to get the kick to receive the second half.
All right, 2 receivers right, 2 left, 1 back in the backfield. Here's the snap. And they're intercepted. Coming down the right side, Rowan Llewellyn dodges 1 tackler, moving the ball downfield, headed to the house, and inside the 20, Rowan Llewellyn, who has had 4 interceptions on the season so far.
He's halfway to a Big Mac.
Yeah. And Buckeyes, with 44 seconds, have an opportunity to score again.
Yeah, and that's just what the doctor ordered, was the big turnover. I have no idea really why Spring Hill would throw the ball down the middle of the field and create that opportunity. We have a flag down. Let's see what the call is here. But no matter what happens, the Buckeyes are going to have the ball. That's the important thing with 2 timeouts.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on the offense, number 61. Unsportsmanlike conduct.
All right, offsetting penalties, unsportsmanlike conduct on 2 players, 1 from each team. Hey, we want to give a shout out. Todd, here's a name you know, KK White.
Hi, KK.
KK Bowles.
Our sister, and she has a son that is playing for the Spring Hill Panthers tonight. And we're not sure why she decided to migrate to Spring Hill, but he should be in orange and black, and that's all that your fellow classmates in 1989 have to say on the subject.
That's all we'll accept. We're bitter about it, right? All right, pass complete, flag on the play. Dylan Llewellyn still on his feet, gets in the end zone, and they're waving it off, saying no.
Let's see what the call is here.
I'm not sure what the call is going to be. We got 35 seconds left on the clock, still plenty of time.
If that's against Spring Hill, that's a touchdown. If that's pass interference, that's going to be a touchdown, Dylan Llewellyn.
Yeah,
they're pointing back towards Gilmer.
Yeah.
They're calling pass interference.
Offensive pass interference.
Against number 22, and that's Mr. Watson, the younger version. They're calling a pick pass on that. They're calling a pick play. That's going to back the Buckeyes up all the way back to their 35-yard line, Jeff, where it's going to be first down and literally 25 yards to go, as they call that a pick play. And Dylan able to catch that screen pass, but now it's going to make the degree of difficulty for the Buckeyes to get more points on the board that much higher, as we've got 1st and 10 now from the 35 with 35 seconds left. A yard per second, Jeff. Let's see if the Buckeyes can pull that one off.
They can still do it, but you hate to see that. You'd rather have the touchdown. They're going to launch one. They're going for the sideline, and that is going to be overthrown. Good defense there by number 2 for Spring Hill.
Yeah, good position, and BT didn't really have a place to put that one, as that was intended for number 12, Mason Hurt. They take their shot. 7 seconds come off the board, bring up 2nd and 25. And the Buckeyes obviously interested in pay dirt here, not necessarily moving the chains.
All right, here's the snap. Heavy pressure from the backside, throws, and that was supposed to be
a hook and ladder.
That was a hook and ladder, but it was just poorly executed. They actually pitched it to the inside, not the outside.
Yeah, Dylan should have just gotten out of bounds there, but nevertheless, Coach Metzel has 2 timeouts in his pocket, decides to use one here. That brings up 3rd down and manageable, Jeff. 18 seconds, maybe time for 3 plays here, definitely time for 2 plays. 1 timeout left, and don't forget with the big number 20 Hernandez, they are right on the edge of his field goal range. This would be right at a 40-yard attempt from where they are now. But Buckeyes not interested in field goals right here, Jeff. They want to score a touchdown. 18 seconds left. Rowan Fluellen interception put the Buckeyes back down deep into Spring Hill territory, but a pass interference call off of an erased touchdown by Dylan Fluellen put the Buckeyes all the way back to 1st and 10 from their own 35-yard line. Incomplete pass on 1st and 2nd down. The complete pass of the hook and ladder brings up 3rd down and about, let's call it 16 now from the 26-yard line. 18 seconds, probably time for 2 plays here. Look for the Buckeyes to go to the end zone.
All right, here's the snap. Pressure. Going for the end zone. Got a chance. Did he do it? He did it. He
Dylan just went and got it.
What an absolute athletic catch. Wow.
Yeah,
and I didn't know he had it. He had to hold it up. He's lay on his back and he holds the football up like, hey, I got it.
Dylan just went and got that one, and Brandon Tennyson took a shot. And I mean, he took a shot as the Buckeyes do manage to put more points on the board. It's a Fluellen to Fluellen drive on that one. Little brother Rowan creates it with his interception, and big brother Dylan manages to cash it in on an unbelievable just go-get-it athletic play from Brandon Tennyson. Touchdown Buckeyes, extra point left to come. It is
he got it.
Good.
Man, we are squirreling them in tonight. I'm going to tell you, that was a lucky shot. But, hey.
We had the doink, and then we had the dirt.
I'd rather be lucky than good. We'll be right back.
Gilmer National Bank is your hometown community bank, serving people in East Texas for over a century. We are your neighbors, friends, and partners in making this a great place to live. Our employees make us a special place to do business. We are there for you when you need us. Come by and see us and find out what makes people say, "That's my bank." Gilmer National Bank, an equal opportunity lender and member FDIC.
All right, we're back. And the Buckeyes did it. They had a minute 42 to score, and it was ugly, but they did it.
They went and got it.
I mean, and what a great athletic catch there by Dylan Fluellen.
Yeah, set up by little brother Rowan Fluellen on the interception and return. But I tell you what, Dylan is just showing you that he's just got play on Saturdays written all over him.
Well, the guy's got
he's unreal.
He's so athletic, and he's got a vertical that's out of this. You know, I mean, jump out of the gym.
He's also about 6'3".
Yeah,
and a wingspan of about 6'9".
Yeah, he's really got it. And there is a deep kick going to be fielded on the 11-yard line, returned down the left side. Finds a gap. Nice tackle there by the Buckeyes. And
1 second left on the clock here for Spring Hill.
1 second on the clock.
And I think the Buckeyes here, Jeff, will be in complete prevent mode. We've got a flag down on the play. The official picked it up, but that would be normally offsides against the Buckeyes. As yes, he is going to go report that. And that's going to march 5 yards off against the Buckeyes.
5 yards to be added. First down.
a lot of penalties. I haven't seen a ball game in a long time that had this many penalties. And isn't it great to see both bands tonight in full gear?
Full.
I mean, they are.
UIL competition.
It
ready.
is the. They are. This is the real deal, and they just hand off at the middle, and they'll be satisfied to go in with a deficit. That is the end of the first half, folks. The score is Gilmer 28, Spring Hill 6, and Gilmer off to a slow start, but picking up momentum in the second quarter, and we'll see what they've got in the second half. We'll be right back.
Hey, East Texas, Matt Darby here, and I serve as one of the pastors at New Beginnings Baptist Church in Gilmer and in Longview. Let me ask you a question. Are you looking for hope in your life right now? We believe that the answer is Jesus Christ, and every Sunday we fix our eyes on Him and we worship Jesus together. I want to invite you to one of our worship services at 8, 9:30, and 11 in Gilmer and in Longview. We'll see you there.
At Farmers Insurance, we've seen almost everything, so we know how to cover almost anything, even a rock and wreck. Yeah! He rocked and rolled right into it, but we covered it. At Farmers, we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
When tragedy strikes, you don't want to be in a position where you're second guessing your lawyer's ability or the resolve to get you fairly compensated. When you hire Goddard & Young, you know you're hiring a law firm that has nationally ranked settlements and verdicts. We have over 2 decades of experience holding 18-wheeler companies accountable for their negligent action. Don't make the mistake of hiring anybody else. Hire the best. Hire Goddard & Young.
Extra, extra! Read all about tonight's game in Thursday's Gilmer Mirror, complete with pictures, coaches' comments, and a look at next week's opponent. The Gilmer Mirror has been serving the citizens of Upshur County since 1877. You know, reading the news online is fine, but there is nothing like physically picking up your hometown paper, turning the pages, and catching up on everything going on in our area. If you're not subscribing to the Gilmer Mirror, you're probably missing out. It's one of my favorite publications, and I know you'll love it too. The Gilmer Mirror, www.gilmermirror.com.
Because of investments in our surrounding infrastructure, eTex offers advanced improvements in internet connections, service experience, and quality of life for our customers. The driving force for eTex has been to create a state-of-the-art company using both the latest technology and local expert technicians, people you know. And best of all, a certified support team that delivers quality support within hours, not days. eTex, local support from the team you trust.
Growing up as a child in East Texas, I was always taught that I had to outwork my opponent. That same principle has carried over into our law firm. And for over 20 years, we've outworked each and every insurance company, lawyer, or corporation we've gone against. If you look at our results, they prove it. Put us to work for you, and we promise to never stray from the same East Texas work ethic that you were raised on.
120 years ago, First National Bank of Gilmer opened its doors to meet the needs of its customers. Through the years, we added other names to our banking family. Now, we're proudly unified under a single name, First National Bank of East Texas, because together, we're better for you, your families, your businesses, and our communities. We're the same great bank with the same great people and services you can depend on. First National Bank of East Texas. Together, we're better.
Winningham Chevrolet is proud to support the Gilmer Buckeyes. Don't miss out on the 15% savings on the 2020 Blazer, Equinox, and Trax. And remember, our service department is now open Saturday 8 to 12. Stop by and see Jay, Roger, and Lindsay at Winningham Chevrolet. The Med Shop Pharmacy in Gilmer's features a drive-through pharmacy for all your prescription and over-the-counter drug needs. Place refills using our free phone app RX2Go or use our convenient auto refill line 24/7 at 903-680-2626. Stop by and see our unique gift items for all occasions or visit us on the web at gilmermedshop.com. And don't forget, the Med Shop is your flu shot and vaccine headquarters for the fall and winter season. The Med Shop Pharmacy, your friendly hometown pharmacy.
Two-time Hall of Fame inductees, Brent Godarzi and Marty Young. Back-to-back #1 trucking firm in the nation. Back-to-back best attorney and best law firm in East Texas.
Crowley Funeral Home has been serving families in Gilmer since 1883. Funeral director and Gilmer High School graduate Troy Murray leads the professional staff at Crowley Funeral Home and is committed to providing dignified, respectful, and compassionate assistance to every family in their time of need. Crowley Funeral Home feels strongly about maintaining high standards of excellent service while still keeping prices affordable. At Crowley Funeral Home, we treat your family as our own.
Gilmer National Bank is your hometown community bank, serving people in East Texas for over a century. We are your neighbors, friends, and partners in making this a great place to live. Our employees make us a special place to do business. We are there for you when you need us. Come by and see us and find out what makes people say, "That's my bank." Gilmer National Bank, an equal opportunity lender and member FDIC.
Directed by Donna Lane and Lauren Murray. Officers from Gordon Jr., Laney Drake Jr., Sarah Walden Jr., Tiffany Wilson Jr., and Skylar Ford Sr. Star of the week is Miss Chloe Dixon. Stars perform a street of jazz routine to Give Me Everything.
I know. And I couldn't go. We were like halfway going on. So I watched it on the map. And as soon as she went, I was like, and then I turned around and jumped. It's supposed to be down there. I'm like, oh my God.
Buckeye fans, on your feet as the Stars kick to the Buckeye fight song.
Go Buckeyes!
At Farmers Insurance, we've seen almost everything, so we know how to cover almost anything, even a rock and wreck. Yeah! He rocked and rolled right into it, but we covered it. At Farmers, we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
When tragedy strikes, you don't want to be in a position where you're second guessing your lawyer's ability or the resolve to get you fairly compensated. When you hire Goddard & Young, you know you're hiring a law firm that has nationally ranked settlements and verdicts. We have over 2 decades of experience holding 18-wheeler companies accountable for their negligent action. Don't make the mistake of hiring anybody else. Hire the best. Hire Goddard & Young.
And back to Jeff Traylor Stadium where you're halftime
And you are right there too. Say hello to everybody.
Hello, everybody. Special shout out to all our fans all around the world. Buckeyes lead 28-6 here in the first half, but not really the first half that Coach Metzel wanted to see, Jeff.
It's not at all. And the big story is 17 penalties between the two teams, 12 of those going to Gilmer for a total of 94 yards, and that was kind of the story of the first half. It's
sloppy.
Just lots of flags, lots of penalties, and so hopefully we'll be able to get that cleaned up as we start the second half of play. So the Buckeye kicking team is on the field, and Spring Hill, who elected to defer, they won the toss at the beginning of the game and elected to defer to receive the second half. Receive.
Just think about this. With 2 minutes and 41 seconds left in the first half, the score was 14-6. and it looked like Spring Hill was going to be able to milk the rest of the clock. And the Buckeyes just came storming back. And now let's see with this deep kick how the Buckeyes are going to start the second half.
Fielded on the 4.
Great
turned
tackle
out
by
past
Jed
the
Jones.
20, and Spring Hill's going to come over 1st and 10 from the 20.
Jed Jones with a fantastic open field tackle there against number 11 to shut that return down at the 22-yard line, let's call it. And let's see if the defense can come out and start the pace and energy here for the Buckeyes to start this second half. Just a flurry of activity at the finish. Obviously, the Buckeyes score. Rowan Fluellen intercepts the pass with 1 minute and 6 seconds left. Dylan Fluellen with 9 seconds caps out with another touchdown as the Buckeyes put 14 seconds on the board, literally in 1 minute and 47 seconds to lead this one now 28-6. But now Spring Hill is in a hole, and they're going to have to throw their way out of it.
They hand off, and they're going to be dropped for a loss, a big loss right from the start. Now that's the aggressive defensive line that we saw the first 4 games of this season. And they got some major penetration right there and just dropped that play before it ever had a chance to develop.
Yeah, that was just blow everything up. And that's how you want to start the second half, from 1st and 10 to 2nd and 15 now inside the 20-yard line. That black flag coming out, a little bit of an attitude here to start the second half.
All right, 2nd and 15 for Spring Hill. Quarterback goes under center, turns around, fakes a handoff, and he'll be sacked on the 5. And that is what you call penetration right there.
Yeah, Matt Burton ran smooth by his blocker and didn't even fall for the fake for the quarterback, who literally is just faked the handoff, dropped back, and the next thing he was seeing was the 6-yard line right in his face mask as Matt Burton just annihilated that play. Brings up 3rd down and basically Camellia Street. It's crazy here. They need all the way out to the 32-yard line. They'll snap this one from their own 7.
All right, from the shotgun. And they're coming again. He launches one down the sideline. We may pick it off. We do. Number 4, Guidry down the sideline is going to get inside the 10. Cuts back across midfield, and he'll be brought down on the 10. And boy, the Buckeyes came out storming, and that's what they've done all season. Second half team, and playing with a lot of energy, a lot of momentum.
Cody Guidry with the interception. They had that one dialed in from the snap and gives Brandon Tennyson and the Buckeye offense in a short field, and that's Davion Smith. 10:19 left here in this third quarter. The Buckeyes get a big turnover, 1st and goal.
All right, Tennyson from the shotgun. Pulls up, fires one to number 17, Rowan Llewellyn, who will score easily.
And he will be devouring a Big Mac from Uncle Todd here shortly.
Oh, that's right. Interception and a touchdown. Yeah.
As the Buckeyes come out.
Yeah, he's motivated by food, trust me.
Well, I'm going to have to remember that in the future. There's gift cards that can do well on that front. As Rowan Llewellyn catches that screen pass and goes in for the Buckeye touchdown, as they put their foot on the accelerator on both sides of the ball in the first 2 minutes of this second half, Jeff.
All right, here's the hold, and it is right through the middle of the uprights, and so Buckeyes coming out with big momentum. 10-14 left to play in the third. The score is 34. Buckeyes, Spring Hill 6. Extra. Read all about tonight's game in Thursday's Gilmer Mirror, complete with pictures, coaches' comments, and a look at next week's opponent. The Gilmer Mirror has been serving the citizens of Upshur County since 1877. You know, reading the news online is fine, but there is nothing like physically picking up your hometown paper, turning the pages, and catching up on everything going on in our area. If you're not subscribing to the Gilmer Mirror, you're probably missing out. It's one of my favorite publications, and I know you'll love it too. The Gilmer Mirror, www.gilmermirror.com.
Back to the action here is in just a minute and 46 seconds. The Buckeyes get a turnover and go score to bring the score to 35-6 here with still 10-14 remaining to play in the third quarter. And the Buckeyes now with all the momentum and looking to really put their boot on the throat of the Spring Hill Panthers. And just kind of keep their foot on the accelerator here, Jeff. And, the way the first quarter went, it's hard to believe that with 2 minutes and 14 seconds left to play in the first half, the score was 14-6.
And they're going to kick this one deep. It's going to go out of the back of the end zone because Hernandez has a tremendous foot. And that's going to bring it out to the 25-yard line. So 1st and 10 for Spring Hill on the 25.
And boy, to say that the black flag started the second half, Jeff, with their hair on fire is an understatement. As Spring Hill went nothing but backwards and then turned it over and then gave up a touchdown, all within really 5 plays of the first 5 plays of the second half. And the Buckeyes now have this game securely under control, but it's still, another 23 minutes plus to play. And the Buckeyes' emphasis is going to be on the Buckeyes this second half.
Well, and the thing is, they're going to just have to air it out. Their passing game hadn't been real strong tonight. They've dumped a few short ones like that out route there, but nothing deep, as the Buckeyes secondary have played pretty well tonight. Now, they have been able to successfully draw a couple of questionable and a couple of legitimate pass interference calls, just being overzealous in the secondary. And it's going to bring up 2nd and 7 for Spring Hill. With the score, 35-6 with 10:08 in the third, you just don't, you don't want to dump 3-yard passes. You want to be able to go deep. Number 19 reels that one in. He's going to be just short of the first down.
That's a play, Jeff, that the Buckeyes are going to see from Pleasant Grove. They take that tight end that's flexed out. They just run basically an 8-yard curl. They swing the back out of the backfield to kind of freeze that corner and force the safety to come up and play very aggressive. And, of course, as soon as they do that, they'll go right over the top of you with the wheel route. So 3rd down and 1, and not able to pick up the first down, Jeff. And the Buckeyes still with an opportunity to get off the field here with the 3 and out. Let's see if they can get penetration here. But look for a big dose of number 5 to try to pick up this first down.
All right, here's the low snap. Quick pass and knocked down, almost picked off.
Jaden Griffith can't play that one any better.
And he almost done.
Yeah, he almost got the interception. That's going to be 4th down and 1. And let's see what Spring Hill does here. I think they're going to go for this here, Jeff. This game's gotten out of hand real quick-like for them. just in the last 5 minutes of play, the last 2 minutes of the first half, and the first 2.5 of the second half, went from 14-6 to 35-6. I mean, that's 3 quick touchdowns the Buckeyes put on the board. 4th down and 1 now. Let's see if the Buckeyes black flag defense can stand up and get off the field.
All right, quarterback rolls to his right side, dumps one out for a first down, and breaking the tackle and fighting for yardage all the way out to the 45-yard line. That is a nice play there by Spring Hill. Number 19 does a good job.
Yeah, the big tight end there, once again, just dragging across the field. And he's kind of their only target at this point when you really look at it. They tried to go.
Which makes no sense. They've got some athletes that are played in the secondary, number 6, number 11, number 2, and they just haven't been able to hit targets tonight. All right, they're gonna lose yardage on this one. Just a great play by Luke. Anything they've ran toward Luke tonight, he has just strung it out all the way to the sideline and then yanks him down. I mean, he's just playing that textbook.
Yeah, a news flash to all opposing offensive coordinators. Do not run jet sweep at number 10.
Yeah.
It is not going to end well for you. He just is gotten that to a science where he gets penetration and gives ground and strings it out, and that's a 7-yard, 6-yard loss. As you just, to your point, Jeff, you can't play any better than that. That's how you draw it up.
And the defense, who played a really good first half, has come out on fire playing really aggressive in the second half.
Yeah, that first drive was a clinic.
All right, they're stacking everybody in the box. They know where that's going, and this poor young man had nowhere to go. As he is going to get maybe a yard. That's going to be 3rd and 14. And they are just really shutting Spring Hill down now at this point.
Yeah, 3rd and long. Look for number 19, as that's really the only success that they've been able to have. Throwing the football. They're going to have to obviously throw here. They're milking clock, Jeff, under now 8 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. The Buckeyes already, they've run one offensive play in the second half, touchdown. that's pretty good percentage there.
All right, Spring Hill drops back. Heavy pressure, forced fumble. Quarterback falls on it. That's going to bring up 4th and 5.
Luke Watson
4th and
once
15.
again. Luke Watson once again creating that pressure. And
now, see, tell me what changed. When we go in at halftime, what are they drinking at halftime or hearing or doing that makes them come out that motivated? And look at that penetration off the defensive line.
Yeah,
I mean, that's not just adjustments. That is psychological. There's something that...
Yeah, what a great promotional foray into the coaching show, which will come on Sunday.
I'm going to ask Alan that on Sunday. What is it that you are saying, and could you come speak to my children? And that takes a negative Spring Hill bounce, but Buckeyes are going to start over 1st and 10 from their own 33. I just, you saw how aggressive they were. The black flag defense played a great first half of football, I thought. Held them to 6. The only reason they were down into scoring range was pass interference calls. But now they've come out, and I mean, serious penetration.
Yeah, and let's see if they can continue that momentum cleanly and execute the offense here. Look to go to the ground here. 7 guys in the box here. They're daring them to throw, but I think Coach Metzel here is going to go to the ground soon.
All right, look at this hole. Look at that. Find a hole and run through it. That was perfect.
Yeah,
a lot of times running backs have a tendency to want to bounce outside. He hit that hole perfectly, and it developed just the way it was supposed to, and he ran it perfectly.
Yeah, Marseille's got wheels. He can run. And look for Coach Metzel to try to keep it on the ground, and Spring Hill's going to try to force him back into the air.
Okay, they're going to throw. They got a man open out in the flats, easily going to pick up the first down, fumble the football, and I'm not sure who came down with that. Say it rolled out of bounds, but that was Jaden Griffin on the reception for the Buckeyes. That'll be another first down.
Yeah, and once again, BT just got hammered from that blitz off the edge. Stands in and throws the strike, but it winds up on his back, and that's something that on film for sure. Tomorrow, BT's going to be sore, but on film, they're going to say, hey, we can't keep having a quarterback get killed.
Ward's in the backfield now, and they're going to dump it out to him, and he is going to pick up a few, fighting his way forward. Just shy of the 30. And that's It's going to get down to about the 31.
Second down and about 8 now for the Buckeyes. 5:30 left to play here in the third quarter.
Ward the back. Look for him to hand off here. It's second down. No. BT under heavy pressure. He's going to get sacked. Good job there by Spring Hill getting off their block around that right side, the Buckeyes' left side, and that had no chance to develop.
Yeah, lots of different blitz packages coming at BT now, and he had to try to step around that. But just a protection breakdown brings up third down 14. Jeff, this is most likely a 4-down territory. The Buckeyes go 5 wide here, and they're going to leave this on the arms and potentially feet of Brandon Tennyson.
All right, Tennyson dropping back in the pocket, rolls to his right side, fires one to number 17, Rowan Fluellen. Browan headed to the house on the left side. He will score.
So now we've got 2 Big Macs on cue for Rowe, who's
wait a minute. Are you having to buy him multiple Big Macs?
Well,
or is this a...
We didn't negotiate beyond a pick and a touchdown.
Okay, I got you.
I can feel the
that was probably worth some fries. Yeah.
the apple pie at the end.
Yeah, this is apple pie.
Put another score on the board to bring this to 41-6 with the extra point left to come. And just a nice pitch and catch on the move from Brandon Tennyson, and then Rowe does a number with a cut to the outside and puts that one in the end zone. And now you feel a little bit of the rhythm, and now you got Coach Metzel saying, where was that for the first 12 minutes?
That's what I've been looking for. So Gilmer, 4:38 left to play in the third. Gilmer 42, Spring Hill 6, and this is what we were talking about earlier. Just came a little late. We'll be right back after these messages.
Because of investments in our surrounding infrastructure, eTex offers advanced improvements in internet connections, service experience, and quality of life for our customers. The driving force for eTex has been to create a state-of-the-art company using both the latest technology and local expert technicians, people you know. And best of all, a certified support team that delivers quality support within hours, not days. eTex, local support from the team you trust.
And back to Jeff Traylor Stadium, where another 3 and out for the Buckeyes, and winds up in a short drive, scoring drive, Rowan Fluellen touchdown from Brandon Tennyson to bring the score to 42-6 with 4:38 left to play. And Jeff, now we were just saying this is kind of what we expected the first half score to be like, and now this has gotten completely out of hand for Spring Hill. The question is, can the Buckeyes just continue to execute into the third and fourth quarter, and then get a lot of guys a lot of experience playing? That's really what these games should be about.
All right, here's a long kick and hits a hole.
Look out, that's a live ball.
And it is a live ball. Look at this. Buckeyes have got it.
Recovered at the 1 by the Buckeyes.
Unbelievable. They just stood there and looked at it. That reminds you of the Atlanta Falcons.
Exactly.
And they just stand there and look at it like it's a punt, and the Buckeyes fall on it on the 1.
Yeah, great hustle and awareness and football IQ by the Buckeyes, who knew that's a live ball. And they just went and got it.
I think Spring Hill thought it was going to go into the end zone.
They had to, and it checked up perfectly. And once again, now 1st and goal for the Buckeyes from the Spring Hill 2.
Yeah, that's frustrating if you're a Spring Hill fan, I'm going to tell you. They got choice in there. I'll bet you $100 I know where this one's going. Hand off to Choice up the middle, and touchdown. He will score.
Did not take long for the Buckeyes. 2 seconds as the clock now.
And this game has officially gotten so boring that not one person in the stands on the Buckeyes clapped. Was it not a touchdown?
False start.
Well, no wonder they didn't clap.
Illegal formation against the Buckeyes. Too many men in the backfield. And just when you think it's time to get excited for Coach Metzel, more hair follicles leave.
Coach Metzel could be down there telling them, hey, call penalties, don't let us score here. They don't want to run the score up.
I don't think so yet. It's I think Coach Metzel wants to see at least 1 full quarter of complete execution. And so far, that's basically what the last 10 minutes have been.
Handoff around the right side. And they're gonna throw him out of bounds. That's number 2, Jaden Griffin. on the carry. He gets back down to around the 5-yard line before getting knocked out.
That'll bring up 2nd and goal because the 1st and goal did not count, so that's only 2nd down. Although the line,
2nd down there.
Judge shows 2nd. Now that is correct.
Choice in the backfield. Hand off to Choice up the middle. Good tackle.
Yeah, it was a good
there
tackle.
by the defensive tackle, stopping the big man, Choice. He does get a couple on that one.
Now it's 3rd and goal from the 2. Let's see if they don't go back to the well.
Yeah, this would just be choice for me, right up the gut.
2 straight plays if necessary. As the clock runs down now to 4 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. Buckeyes once again on the doorstep.
High snap, Choice up the middle fighting, and he loses yardage. It's going to go down on the 5 there. And they're going to come in and kick.
Yeah, they will kick the field goal here, and let's see who will be doing the kicking. That will be Hernandez, and it will be Cody Guidry in for the hold.
Now, at this point in the game, this is Coach Mitchell not trying to run the score up.
That's right.
Because he knows they know where the ball's going. He didn't try to pass. He didn't try to go outside. Ran it up the gut, and the theory there is if you
stop me,
you score, and if you stop me, you stop me. But I'm kind of letting you know where I'm coming. And the field goal is, and that's the kind of coach that he is. He don't want to run the score up and humiliate these guys on the other side of the ball because there's a lot of ball game left to play. 3:13 left to play in the 3rd. The score is 46 Gilmer, and we will be right back after these messages.
Growing up as a child in East Texas, I was always taught that I had to outwork my opponent. That same principle has carried over into our law firm. And for over 20 years, we've outworked each and every insurance company, lawyer, or corporation we've gone against. If you look at our results, they prove it. Put us to work for you, and we promise to never stray from the same East Texas work ethic that you were raised on.
After tonight's game, there will be no one allowed on the field. Thank you for your help and cooperation.
All right, back to Jeff Traylor Stadium. Buckeyes just kicked in field goal for 3 points.
Speaking of Jeff Traylor Stadium, we want to say good luck to Coach Jeff Traylor and Coach Kurt Traylor and that staff at the University of Texas San Antonio. Fantastic start to the season, 3-0. They had a tough loss last week down in the University of Alabama, Birmingham, still in the game to the very end. Kind of hard to play when your 4th-string quarterback is in the game in the 4th quarter. But they take on the mighty BYU team. And we wish them all the luck in the world tomorrow in Provo.
Fielded on the 20, number 6, that speedster, and he found a gap, and we may be in trouble. I don't think he may take it to the house. And again, he lowers his head, and what a great tackle there by the kicker. That was, I think, Chavez.
Yeah, we'll take it. But
and he does a great job. Well, at number 6, he lowers his head when he comes around the corner. I don't know why they don't have him in as a back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, he'd be a really good tailback.
Get him the ball as Spring Hill couldn't ask for a better start for this drive. 1st and 10 from the Buckeye 29 after the huge return.
Chavez does a good job as a kicker getting over there.
He did. He contained him very well. Yeah. He took the blow and, more importantly, got him on the ground.
And so Spring Hill setting up camp with good field position. 1st and 10 from the Buckeye 39. Watch this defensive penetration. Let's see if they get back there again. And they do. And Spring Hill maybe got a yard out of that one. 2nd and 9.
Yeah, this defense has played well, Jeff. I mean, they've been asked to do a lot, but they've gotten off the field an awful lot on 3rd down opportunities. And, you know, we had 8 possessions offensively in the first half, scored on 4 of those. But, you know, the Buckeye offense wants to be a little more efficient than that, especially with this level of competition. They'd like to score 6 out of 8 times versus 4 out of 8 times. But the defense is giving them the ball back. They've given them opportunities. And so the Black Flag is done their job tonight so far.
From the shotgun, here's a snap. Handoff up the middle. Now, this is a different back. And they're going to get a couple of yards out of that, maybe 3. And that'll bring up 3rd and 6.
3rd and 6 where it gets really interesting, Jeff. 2 minutes to play here in the third quarter. We're almost to the fourth quarter. A lot of young guys now playing here on the defensive side of the ball. Obviously the defense wants to get a stop right here. You still got big number 44, Matt Burton, in the game, and he is a force. I mean, he is just almost, a one-man game changer when he really lays his ears back and decides, I'm going to come get the football. And you got big choice number 24 in there at linebacker. So let's see if the Buckeye defense can get a big stop here on the money down, 3rd down and 6 from their own 25.
Quarterback's under heavy pressure, launches one for the end zone, and he just throws that one away. Nobody to throw it to. Minute 19 left to play in the third. Gilmer 45, Spring Hill 6.
Yeah, Burton got flipped up into the air on that play and comes up limping a little bit. Now he's going to come out of the game. You hate to see that. But, boy, I tell you what, the quarterback sure heard the footsteps of number 44 coming. And that played a little bit of a role of him throwing that out of the end zone because the Buckeyes had it well covered. But he was just trying to get rid of it. 4th down and 6. Spring Hill's going to go for it here. Nothing to lose with a minute 19 left in the third quarter, down 45-6. They'll try to convert here. Watch for number 19 there that's flexed out in the slot.
Heavy pressure. Trying to throw a cross route to number 7, and that is going to fall incomplete. And so there'll be a changeover on downs. And the Gilmer offense is coming on the field.
Great job by that defensive front there. Lots of young guys playing, but Coach Tommy Edwards has got to be happy with his defensive effort here tonight as once again they figure out a way to get off the field on 4th down. 2 straight incomplete passes. And Brandon Tennyson's still in at quarterback, Jeff, as there's still some things offensively that Coach Metzel wants to get right. And it is not going to be taking their foot off the accelerator quite yet as the Buckeye offense wants to take up some execution time.
Handoff to Cody Guidry. He finds nothing up front, and so he bounces it outside, picks up a couple.
Did I see a flag fly there, Jeff, or am I just so flag happy that I've got
you're
yellow
just delusional.
streaks
You got yellow.
They're flying through.
There's so much yellow in this game, you've got jaundice.
Yes.
2nd and 7. Ball is on the 28-yard line.
Took me a minute.
And they're going to go to the air, complete to Rowan Fluellen on the left side, and Rowan is slung down. Probably going to be a flag, maybe not.
My gracious.
I think he had him out, and and then he flipped him over.
Well, you can't say that he tackled him in the white because he was already on the green on the other side of the white.
Yeah.
And all that was left was track. Slung Rowan down, but no problem. He's trying to fix his jersey. 1st and 10 Buckeyes from their own 43.
Here's a snap, going to pass it again, and it is caught by Rowan once again, and he gets tripped up.
That ball was
back
batted.
to the line of scrimmage.
That ball was tipped, and Rowan still made a play on it. He does a good job there. Rowan's got his knee pad going, his shoulder pad going.
Yeah.
He's all out of sorts. But he's going to be full of Big Mac here come Saturday night.
All right, high snap. Reeled that one in, Jaden. And gets out across midfield to the 50. Not quite a 1st down. Clock continues to tick. 12 seconds left in the third quarter.
That'll be the last play of the third quarter.
That'll be the last play of the third quarter. That's right. And the Buckeyes are going to just turn around 1 yard.
Head north.
They're just going to change sides right here in 2 yards, and we'll be right back after these messages.
120 years ago, First National Bank of Gilmer opened its doors to meet the needs of its customers. Through the years, we added other names to our banking family. Now, we're proudly unified under a single name, First National Bank of East Texas, because together, we're better for you, your families, your businesses, and our communities. We're the same great bank with the same great people and services you can depend on. First National Bank of East Texas. Together, we're better.
And back to the action as we go into the fourth quarter here with the Buckeyes driving 49 yards away from pay dirt, leading 45-6, game well in hand. And a heck of a third quarter for the Buckeyes who absolutely controlled that quarter, Jeff, on all sides of the ball, but that's 1 out of 4 that they played really, really well. Coach Metzel wanted to see 4 out of 4 that they played really, really well. This fourth quarter, you'll have a lot of younger guys in, but let's see if the execution level can stay high and if the Buckeyes' efficiency can stay high. Brandon Tennyson's going to stay in at quarterback, obviously, as Coach Metzel's still not real satisfied with what he's seen offensively and wants to get some more work in.
Tennyson's going to hit Guidry out of the backfield. He runs down the sideline for about a 20-yard gain. Late hit, and that'll draw a flag for Guidry, so he'll get 20 plus a personal foul.
That'll move it down about another 15 inside the 20 to about the 15-yard line. And Cody Guidry's just a great athlete. I mean, he catches that ball out of the backfield. Did you see that little stutter step that he made to get an extra 4 yards? And that's going to march it down to about the 14-yard line, I think. I'll make that the 19-yard line. And 7 seconds into the fourth quarter, the Buckeyes into the red zone. Empty backfield, Jeff. Let's see if they go straight for the throat here.
All right, they set up a little screen, and that is caught by Parker Gillow. Parker does a good job of getting upfield.
Hey, that's Parker's first catch. It wasn't a touchdown all season.
Yeah.
He's got 3 catches on the season, 2 of them for touchdowns.
Parker Gillow with the reception.
Brings up second down and 2. And once again, execution the goal here. Here comes a blitz.
Yeah, they just absolutely clobbered Tennyson.
He gets up and his arm.
Yeah, he's getting up, grabbing, holding his arm, so he's going to come out for a while. That pass is intercepted. I mean, they brought the defensive end straight at him, and nobody was there to pick him up, so Tennyson took a shot and threw an interception.
Yeah, and he threw the interception because he took a shot, and more importantly, you got your quarterback there that got it. Hopefully that's just a stinger in the elbow as the trainer's down there working on him. Coach Metzel comes over to check on him. That won't look good on the stat sheet. Hopefully that's just a funny bone injury. Mason also checking on him there. And that's a critical piece to the puzzle, Jeff, that you do not want to see go down against Spring Hill up 45-6.
Oh gosh, no. And running back kind of sneaks through the line there, gets out to the 10 or 11 yard line. Now you definitely that's one you know, if you hurt your quarterback in a game like this, 45-6, that's enough to make you sick.
Yeah, literally. Especially,
I'm sure he just got a stinger. He didn't. I saw the hit. He got hit pretty good, but I don't think it was anything too severe.
Yeah, I think he'll be done for the night regardless, as we check on some scores from around the area, Jeff. Longview up on Tyler Legacy 30-14 in the third quarter. Pine Tree and Kennedale tied 10-10. That is a huge victory already for Coach Lane out there. Tyler High and Nacogdoches both canceled that game. Magnolia West up on Lufkin 37-20. Brian Rudder up on Nacogdoches 35-14. That was the makeup game, as we see.
Look at this.
Number five
sneaking out and getting the big first down.
His best run of the night, Jeff, so far. Greenville up on Mount Pleasant 34-14. Hallsville and Sulphur Springs canceled their game. Marshall up 48-22 over McKinney North. White House leads Corsicana 26-14 in the fourth quarter. Nederland and Jacksonville are scheduled for tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Jasper final over Rusk 42-21. Some of the games down south, Jeff, are rescheduled due to the hurricane.
Buckeyes all over that.
Lots of young guys getting good action there, Jeff. Pleasant Grove 48-9 up over Pittsburgh. Bullard over Canton 34-24. Mahayan Brownsboro in a battle 35-all in the third quarter. Carthage up over Center 48-14. Palestine over Chapel Hill 42-21 at the half. Kilgore up 35-7 over Maybank. Lindale up 34-7 over Henderson. Two teams that the Buckeyes saw earlier on this season. Once again, the black flag standing up even with those young guys, Jeff. That's good to see. Down to 3A, Hemphill over Anderson Shiro, 14-8. Hemphill up over, that's Kuntz over Corrigan, 13-9. Dangerfield winning big over Pearland, 57-0. Paul Pewitt over Paris Chisholm, 47-20. Wascom up over Hugh Springs, 49-8.
All right, they're going to air this one out, and just falls incomplete.
Great play by Watson there, one-on-one on the corner. Breaks that one up. Landon does a good job. Fourth down, and Spring Hill's going to punt with 8:18 left in the fourth quarter. West Rusk and ARP tied 42-all, and that is a final score, Jeff. So I don't know if they didn't play overtime in that game or if that's some kind of an error there. Harleton up huge over Diana, 42-0. Tatum up over New Boston, 42-18. That's a long bus ride home for Tatum.
Rowan Fluellen. Look at him make that cut up the field. Look at this guy run. You talk about football savvy. I'll tell you who he reminds me of. He's just so fluid on the field. He reminds me of, as a sophomore, watching Curtis Brown.
Yeah.
That's who he reminds me of. I mean, the kid's not big, he's just football smart. He's just savvy.
And he's moving at a different speed than everybody else too. Literally, it's almost like a speeder faster than his eyes. As soon as he sees it, he's there. But
straight out speed, 40-yard dash speed, he's not the fastest guy down here by a long shot.
But he's going full
He's a
blast.
fast kid, don't get me wrong, but boy, he's just got football savvy. And here's a nice run down the sideline by Ward.
Yeah, there's your
strong running back.
There's your fourth quarter where Spring Hill says basically, how many of those dudes you got over there? And the answer is a whole lot. As
Parker Gilo, by the way, checking in at quarterback.
Running the offense. As Brandon is done for the night. But the Buckeyes aren't quite yet done. Mr. Ward in that Atlanta game shows you what he can do. Pass completed.
It's tipped, but they were able to, number 6, Marche, able to reel it in. Good for 4 yards, 2nd and 6. Parker Gillo can throw the football.
Yeah, he can. He's had lots of snaps, Jeff.
He has.
And it's a luxury to be able to know
JV last year.
That your number 1 and your number 2 quarterbacks with all the starting experience are over here talking to each other on the sideline, and Parker's got everything under control. Look out.
Cutting upfield.
That's Kiki Johnson.
Kiki Johnson showing he knows how to do it too.
Yeah, down to the 2-yard line. And it's great stuff to put on film, but the Buckeyes just have that many weapons. 7 minutes left to play in this ball game. 45-6, and the Buckeyes are probably going to put another 7 on the board here. Parker back there in the backfield with Ward, and look for number 32 to take this one. And he does, and he's going to score easily.
Yeah, he'll score easily.
Touchdown Buckeyes to bring this to 51-6. The extra point left to come. As this one's kind of all over but the shouting. It really has been, Jeff, since the last 2 minutes and 17 seconds of the first half, as the Buckeyes went from 14-6 to 28-6 to take that lead in halftime. And they come out in the third quarter with their hair on fire and have not taken their foot off the accelerator yet. Looks like that Brandon Tennyson is okay. Just got a stinger on the elbow. Kick is up, and it is good. Bring our score to 52-6. Jeff, let's say a special shout out to our sponsors in stadium here tonight. Winningham Chevrolet with their winning ways, and Stanley Ford with their cars and trucks here in the stadium. Beautiful new Blazer down there in the north end zone by the field house, and big F-150 Super Cab down here in the south end zone. And if you're shopping for a car or truck, you don't need to leave the Gilmer city limits to find what you're looking for. We appreciate both those guys, ownership groups, management, sponsors, what they do for our kids through the entire athletic program. We appreciate it so much. Jeff, let's recognize a few more of our sponsors and come back right after this.
Winningham Chevrolet is proud to support the Gilmer Buckeyes. Don't miss out on the 15% savings on the 2020 Blazer, Equinox, and Trax. And remember, our service department is now open Saturday 8 to 12. Stop by and see Jay, Roger, and Lindsay at Winningham Chevrolet.
All right, it's time for the Buckeyes to kick off once again. If you're just joining us, it's 52-6 with 6:35 left to play in the fourth quarter.
And as you see the score from Pittsburgh, 48-9, Pleasant Grove over Pittsburgh. The writing is kind of on the wall, as this district is going to kind of come down to the Buckeyes and the Hawks once again. Lots of time, Jeff, to play between now and then.
Fair catch on the 40. High pooch kick from Chavez, and Spring Hill's going to take over 1st and 10 from their own 40. And again, this is just an example of Coach Metzel trying to be a gentleman.
Yeah.
Just give them good field position, you know, not trying to kick an onside kick there. He's doing a short pooch kick intentionally to let those guys get in here and have a fighting chance.
Lots of young guys now on the defensive front. As now number 6, Jeff, is going to come in at the running back position, and a new quarterback for Spring Hill's number 7. 1st and 10 from their own 40. Going to pick up 3, maybe 2 hard-fought yards, quarterback keeper. Clock's going to run down under 6 minutes before they snap it again. And Jeff, now it's just run, clock, run. As you know, if you're Coach Metzel, it's hard to be not happy with a 52-6 win in your first district contest, but he's not going to be happy.
He's not going to be happy with the way the game started.
Yeah, with the game, and
you know, because he's got to find out what is it about this team that the first quarter is just, it's hard to get them going. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's hard to get them up for a game like this. I understand that.
Flag down.
You know, we haven't had many flags in the second half.
Yeah, I would hope not. I would hope that only the obvious ones, because the referee's face mask against the Buckeyes is going to give them a first down. Against 56 for the Buckeyes. And that'll move the chains for Spring Hill and move the clock down under 6 minutes. But yeah, Jeff, I mean, look, Coach Metzel is about 2 things. Number one, you know, let's develop character, let's develop good habits, not just in football, but in life. And part of that is getting better each and every day, coming to work each and every day, utilizing each and every day to consistently get better and better and better. But, you know, when there are inconsistencies and, you know, you kind of ride the roller coaster in terms of it's great, it's bad, it's great, it's bad, it's great, it's bad. You get to that point where you just kind of say, you know, what do we got to do? And that's that's going to be the next week for him as we get prepared for the next district contest.
Number 7, pass intended for number 19, going to fall incomplete. And Spring Hill just having a rough season.
Yeah, they really are.
They've won 2, lost 3. This will be their 4th loss. And just, you hate those seasons, man. It's just tough.
Yeah, and Spring Hill's got some good talent. I mean, from a standpoint of where they are in a district, it's tough when you got Pleasant Grove and you got Gilmer, but you got a chance to make the playoffs. They still have a chance to make the playoffs after this game, but they just got to put it all together. And they were in this game up until about 2 minutes and 16 seconds left in the first half. Had a chance to go in 14-6 at halftime, turned into 28-6, and now it's just gotten completely out of hand.
Quarterback keeper up the middle, and he's going to pick up about 4 or 5 yards on that carry.
And we'll click down now under 5 minutes to play in the game. And for Coach Metzel, you take another step, but you take it very purposefully in terms of going into next week and what you want to see. Because honestly, Jeff, between Pittsburgh, as you see, just getting donkey stomped tonight by Pleasant Grove, which is no surprise. You've got North Lamar, who's also not a strong team. You have Liberty Ilo, which has just kind of been up and down. And that's what's remaining on the schedule. We see a errant pass. Hopefully it keeps the clock running. And we have a clock stoppage. But other than Pleasant Grove and Carthage, and of course those playoff teams, the Buckeyes are getting ready for playoffs. I mean, you're getting ready for a district championship, you're getting ready for the playoffs. That's what this is all about. And so Coach Metzel is not going to be, completely satisfied with the 52-6 victory. But there's just a lot of mountains left to climb here for this team. The expectation, I can tell you just from being around the team, from being around the guys, is, hey, we're going to go meet Carthage on December 16th. I mean, it's out there. It's not a secret. It's not can we. It's we should. How do we get there? This is another step along the journey, and lots to work with as we see incomplete pass. Good defense there by the young defensive back, number 17, Alexander.
I think number 7's still rolling.
No, that's number... I'm too old, Jeff.
I think that's 30-something.
Yeah, that wasn't Rowan Fluellen for sure.
You'll be 50 in about, a month, Todd?
Yeah, it's getting close. Number 37.
37.
Number 37 for the Buckeyes, not 17.
Yeah, that old age is tough on all of us, isn't it, buddy?
It's coming quick, and there's not a thing you can do about it.
Parker Gillow in at quarterback. Here's the snap, handoff. And Ward, is that KJ? KJ, the sophomore, Kendall Jackson, handed the ball, and he's going to be met instantly. We got 4:05 left to play in the game.
They're going to say that's a fumble, Jeff.
Okay. I was confused, but evidently that's a fumble, and they're going to bring the offensive unit of Spring Hill back on.
So the defense now asks, with 4:05 left, to come up with a stop here. As both bands making a lot of noise, Jeff, keeping the neighbors up.
Yeah, they are. You got Battle of the Bands going on for sure.
On this side of town.
You got 2 of the best bands in East Texas here tonight, actually. Number 7 rolls out, throws along when he catches him, and Spring Hill will score.
Got behind the receiver, or behind the defensive back. That's big number 6. As he is a talented receiver still in the game. Of course, lots of backups in for the Buckeyes. So I predicted 62-13 was my final score tonight, but I also predicted it would be 42-0 at halftime. So much for the predictions, but the Buckeyes are going to be in the 1-0 column after the first district week, Jeff. No doubt about that, as the kick is up and good. Makes it 52-13 with 3:55 left to play in the game. Let's recognize a few of our sponsors and come right back after these messages.
The Buckeyes 52,
The Med Shop Pharmacy in Gilmer's features a drive-through pharmacy for all your prescription and over-the-counter drug needs. Place refills using our free phone app RX2Go, or use our convenient auto refill line 24/7 at 903-680-2626. Stop by and see our unique gift items for all occasions, or visit us on the web at gilmermedshop.com. And don't forget, the Med Shop is your flu shot and vaccine headquarters for the fall and winter season. The Med Shop Pharmacy, your friendly hometown pharmacy.
Back to the action here as the Spring Hill Panthers take this out to a 52-13 score. I'll do more for pride and respectability than anything else. Won't have much to do with the outcome. As number 9 is up to kick, and it's a pooch kick. Fair caught by the Buckeyes at the 40-yard line. By number 25 for the Buckeyes. And Parker Gilo will come back onto the field with the offense and try to run this clock out. Jeff, we will cross our fingers and hope that number 11, Brandon Tennyson, just had a little bit of a stinger in his elbow there. But he did take some punishment tonight. That is one of the things that the Buckeyes got to get cleaned up, is the protection schemes. Is this going to be jet sweep?
Around the left side, nice run by the Buckeyes. That is number 26 on the carry.
Yeah, that's Will Blakely, the junior, getting that carry on the jet sweep, picking up the first down, getting this back into Spring Hill Panther territory.
We want to say congratulations to the varsity girls volleyball team.
Yes, as DJ says in the background, the varsity girls volleyball team beat the Paris Wildcats tonight. They're now 2 rounds deep in the playoffs. They lost the first set and then came back and won 3 in a row. Proud of our Lady Bucks. Great job. Keep moving forward.
Handoff to Ward, bounces out to the right side. Big run by Ward, runs out of bounds.
Yeah, Jared can roll now. I mean,
he really can.
He is the starting running back on most every other team in our district, if not our region. And he's probably number 4 or 5 on the depth chart. He will play a significant role as this season continues. He's not a mop-up duty kind of a back, but the Buckeyes just give him the ball late in the fourth quarter against Atlanta. Jeff, you remember he rushed for 106 yards on about 3 carries and a big long touchdown. And don't be surprised if you see him put his second touchdown of the game tonight here in the end zone, because they're going to give him the ball. There he is again, moving the chains down inside the 20, into the red zone. 2:30 left to play. You got to think, if Allen gets it down close, he's probably going to take a knee. But you better not give it to Ward twice more, because he'll put it in the end zone, Jeff. Coach Metz, I'm going to use all of this play clock. Once again, as this game comes to a conclusion, we want to say thanks to all our sponsors who have been so great to us all year long. Our title sponsor, Godarzi & Young, and all they do for our school, and in support of our band. Parker Gillo hands off once again to Warden. Look out, Jeff.
Yeah, he's headed to the house.
Put it in the end zone.
Second time tonight on about 7 carries. Twice in the end zone.
2 touchdowns. It's going to bring this to 58-13. As Mr. Ward can just tote the rock. That's all there is to it. You can tell Allen in the coach's show, the only way that you can stop Mr. Ward is don't give him the ball.
Yeah, he is a pretty dynamic runner. He really is.
He's got a sense of urgency about him when he runs the football.
Extra point is good. Minute 53 left to play in the game. Buckeyes will be kicking off to the Panthers when we return.
2-time Hall of Fame inductees, Brent Godarzi and Marty Young. Back-to-back #1 trucking firm in the nation, back-to-back best attorney and best law firm in East Texas.
Crowley Funeral Home has been serving families in Gilmer since 1883. Funeral director and Gilmer High School graduate Troy Murray leads the professional staff at Crowley Funeral Home and is committed to providing dignified, respectful, and compassionate assistance to every family in their time of need. Crowley Funeral Home feels strongly about maintaining high standards of excellent service while still keeping prices affordable. At Crowley Funeral Home, we treat your family as our own.
Back to Jeff Traylor Stadium, where Mr. Ward puts it in the end zone for the second time tonight to bring the score to 59-13 Buckeyes. This game has not been in doubt since basically 2 minutes and 17 seconds left in the first half. And the Buckeyes just explode here in the third and fourth quarters. And we will run out the last minute and 53 seconds here as the ball falls off the tee.
And they are going to just do another high pooch kick and give it to them on about the 40-yard line.
Look out.
They just kick it out of bounds. And so Spring Hill's going to come in and take it about the 45-yard line.
Jeff, one thing on Wednesday that we talked about is number 29, our kicker Dominique Chavez, who is a senior, and the two perfect onside kicks that he kicked against Carthage, and I mean both of them were perfect. And the question came up during the coaches meeting, hey, if we can do that every time, why don't we do that every time? And the answer was, because we've never seen him do that every time. The only 2 times that we've ever seen him do that was against Carthage.
Yeah, Alan and I talked about that during the coach show, or right before the coach show. I was like, man, I asked him the same question. Like, that was pretty cool. Why don't we just try that every time? And he's like, I've never seen 2 in a row that good. But, I mean, the guy kicked really, he really did a good job.
Kicks. They were perfect. And now the last 2 have gone out of bounds, so now we know that he knows what he's talking about. Look out.
And that almost was nearly intercepted. And
that's number 17 back there playing safety. That's Ro Llewellyn. And if a touchdown interception gets you Big Mac, you got 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, I'm just going to give him a gift card.
That's broken up.
He is a heck of a player back there, and had that one hit him in the chest unexpectedly, and he almost came away with the second pick of the game.
Handoff number 11 around the left side. And
there
that's
you
gonna
go.
Be snuffed out for a loss of about 4.
Number 38 with a great play there. I think that was 38, or is that 28? Will Blakely. 28, 26. Boy, it's terrible.
It's
50.
It's a tragedy.
Well, 51 seconds separate the Buckeyes from their 1-0 district start. Coach Metzel can't be displeased with the way things have gone here, Jeff, in the second half.
Spring Hill looking to throw. Ball's going to fall incomplete. 28 seconds left in the clock, and they are just letting the clock run on out. And that's probably going to be it.
We've got some new Buckeye cheerleaders tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's see if they...
Most noise you've made all night.
We've got some new Buckeye cheerleaders with some pom-poms down the sideline.
Yeah, they got the pink pom-poms.
And that is the game right there.
So ball game, 59-13 your final score. Buckeyes over the Spring Hill Panthers. And we will see you next week when we'll be back on the road, heading north to continue this district quest. And back in the white uniforms, Jeff. And I tell you, it feels like it's been a while since we played football. Feels like we had some rust on us too. But hopefully the Buckeyes can continue this momentum We say congratulations and safe travels to the Spring Hill Panthers as they get ready to travel back and continue to try to make their playoff run. And we look forward to coaching show, Jeff, coming up on Sunday. See what Coach Metzel has to say about tonight's game.
We'll be putting it out on Monday. Eric always does a good job for us. Want to thank our sponsors again, Winningham Chevrolet, for bringing their beautiful cars down here in the end zone. Stanley Ford, always supporting the Buckeyes. Brent Godarzi and Marty Young at Marty & Young Law Offices for being our title sponsor, and then all of our great sponsors. We want to thank all of them for that. So.
Absolutely. And long way to go still here in this season, Jeff. We've got 5 more district opponents that ends here in week 10 with the Pleasant Grove Hawks, who just put a thumping on the Pittsburgh Pirates tonight. As we've got Pittsburgh, we've got North Lamar, we've got LE, and then we've got those Pleasant Grove Hawks coming back in. Everything north of us that stands between us and the playoffs, as the Buckeyes got lots to work on, still a lot of mountains to climb, but 5-1 is a great start to a season. 1-0 in district, more importantly, is the only thing that matters right now. We will make it back on the road next week to make it 2-0. For myself, voice of the Buckeyes, Jeff Rash, we say good night. Go Buckeyes.